What's up?
What's up? That
Gave us
is
a
awesome.
nice little intro, huh?
Yes, I like that. Hello, everybody.
What's going on, everybody?
I feel
Official?
excited. I feel we're doing something here.
Yep.
Danny, how are you?
I'm good. I am good.
How was your con?
Yeah, it was okay.
It was okay.
It was all right. Yeah, it was one of the best ones, but it was all right.
I mean, was
You
there a
can't
good
get them
group
all.
of? I was gonna say, was there a good group of people at it?
Yeah. I mean, for a Sunday at a con, yeah, it was all right. But we met the cousin from the original Addams Family. We actually got him on. He agreed to do a video with us and everything.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I met him one other time before. He's very, very talkative, and he's really fun.
Good.
He does not have the new Star Wars. I'll tell you that much. You also have to remember he was an original Ewok. Remember the flying Ewok?
Yes.
From the whole Endor scene, and that was him. That was him, and that was actually cousin in Ewok. So
wow, I did not know that.
Yeah. So I asked him because I saw he had a Celebration hat. I was like, "Oh, you were at Celebration?" You know, he was like, "Yeah." He was like, "I wouldn't do them ever again." He was like, "I don't like the way they ran." He's like, I was like, "Yeah, I hear that from
Welcome
a lot
in.
of
We
people."
here now.
What's up?
I got a friend. He goes
every.
I got a friend that goes to Celebration every year, and he says the actual Celebration is good. He goes, it doesn't matter what I do. He goes, the people that run all the parking reservations, when you book everything through the Celebration, the last two that he's went to, his reserved spots were taken. He was missing stuff that he reserved at Celebration.
Yeah,
and something that big.
Yeah,
it's
the company that runs those celebrations. Lucasfilm used to just run it, and they used to just rent. It was actually not even run by Lucasfilm. It was actually run by the fans. And and they're big at conventions and things like that. They do like New York Comic Con and things like that. So you would figure they know what they're doing. Not at all.
Yeah, that's
not.
It's just a big cash grab.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what it is. Just and I mean, for the people that really love Star Wars, I mean, it's a great thing. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, my buddy, I mean, he's one person I'd put up against you any day. Star Wars knowledge. I mean, if I ask him anything, I mean, he will take me back to the days of way back to the old Republic and trying to explain things. And I mean, he can spout it off like it's coming right out of the book. He's read every single book that's ever come out.
What's that? He at? Which celebrations did he go to?
This last one, what was it, Chicago? And then I think he went to, was the one before that Anaheim? Is that where they did the one before that?
The one before that was in Orlando.
Okay, then he went to Orlando. That's right, because he went to Orlando because they spent a couple of days at Disney while they were down there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he didn't have a lot of good things. Now, he wants to see Galaxy's Edge, but he did not have a lot of good things to the way they ran, like Star Wars Bay and the way they, I mean, he the same way, we love Star Wars. We enjoy just about everything you get with Star Wars. I don't think Disney does a horrible job with the way they present it. I mean, the March of the Troopers, don't get me, I mean,
wise, in park wise, it's good. I like in park wise, it's okay. Other than that, I don't know. It's mixed.
I mean, they have
Felix, who I ran into this weekend. Like I said, you know, the Ewok, and he doesn't like what Disney has done with it. He's like, number one, it's too much coming out. It's an overload of Star for no reason. That's not what Star Wars was. When Star Wars came out, everybody got excited. If it was good or bad, it was Star Wars. It was, oh, they got another one. Yes, let's go. Let's do this, you know. And now it's, oh, there's another Star Wars, guys. There's another Star Wars cartoon. There's no, you know, like they nailed it with the Mandalorian. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
But
welcome in, CJ Entertainment,
you know,
and welcome in, Shelly Starwalker.
What's going on? Thanks for coming in.
You know,
appreciate that.
But when you're in at Hollywood Studios, you know, and the one thing I think they really failed on is you got Galaxy's Edge. You're supposed to be in Batuu. It's supposed to be future Star, you know, the future in the back end of Star Wars with the newest trilogy. I think when you don't continue something like the March of the Stormtroopers going down Sunset, or not Sunset Boulevard, but you know, Hollywood Boulevard, that was an amazing thing to watch. And it was so interactive. I mean, as far as this, how many times you see video clips of a kid dressed as a stormtrooper, that a stormtrooper come over and just pull them in and they get to go off and do their thing. Now you don't have that coming through every half an hour. So you lost an opportunity for Star Wars characters, especially stormtroopers, who,
well,
whether
yes and no. Have you been to Galaxy's Edge?
Not yet.
Okay. I mean, I was there in something before, you know, this new stuff opened, but the stormtroopers are there, and I think they're there more in presence than anything else. Realistically, if you're a stormtrooper fan, go to Galaxy's Edge because they're everywhere.
Yeah.
If you wanted to see other characters, odds are you're taking a gamble on that, because we didn't see anybody else other than the new character that they have in the park. They are from the Resistance Society. Yeah. I forget her name all the time. We had an awesome interaction with her one day, but then again, I was Hurricane, you know.
Yeah.
And we got lucky because it was empty. I mean, it was empty. I was worried about I had to get a return time just to come into the land, and I didn't have to do that. But like, she literally grabbed me because I was wearing my Rebel Legion Jedi, and she was like, "Who are you?" You know, and like, she played around, and you know, we ran around trying to find, you know, stormtroopers and things like that, and it was a lot of fun.
Now, see, that's
other than her, I was hoping to run into like Kylo Ren or something. Like, I only saw officers walking around the land like one time. I was like, come on. Like, we didn't see Kylo Ren. We didn't see nobody walking around. And I don't like what they did with the storyline to Galaxy's Edge. Galaxy's Edge is supposed to take place at the same time as like Rey and Kylo Ren, obviously, right?
Yes.
So when I go in there and say Luke Skywalker, they're like, "Who is that?" Like, hi. He's in this story, right? Like, come on. You know?
Yeah, it seems like they've gotten a lot more interactive with them than what they did in the beginning, which is nice. I mean, if you watch a lot of videos now, it seems like there's more presence of the stormtroopers. You see more presence of Chewbacca.
Here's the thing: is anything you did in that land was supposed to affect who came to you, who knew who you were. You know, what you did on the on Smuggler's Run was supposed to affect, you know, your outcome with people in the area. They were supposed to basically have a queue, like readers, to go onto your Magic Band to know, okay, he went on Smuggler's Run. They crashed the ship. You know, like they're supposed to come out like, oh, we hear that you crashed the ship a few times on you know, the Millennium Falcon a couple times, or, you know, glad you survived, you know, that kind of thing. But
yeah,
they're not talking about not just the stormtroopers and stuff. I'm talking like cashiers and people you're buying food from. Like they're all supposed to be interactive with the land, and they're not. They're not.
Yeah.
You totally misled everybody on that.
Yeah, you were supposed to go into Oga's Cantina, and you could possibly get yelled at by bartenders.
A bounty.
You could have a bounty on you. You know,
there were supposed to be bounty hunters in the camp where you have gone up to and completed missions.
Yep.
We don't have it.
What they did as far as putting in the interactive MDE that reacts to certain things, and that's just not a good replacement for what they did.
No.
But while we're on the subject,
we have the interactive app. Like, who wants to use it? Do you ever? You go to you've probably been there when it's up right now with the whole fast pass and stuff.
Yeah.
Other than to get a fast pass, do you really sit there and use the app, the Play Disney app? Do you use that?
I have a few times in the lines. Because I've got the kids with me, but I also use it to look. But I also use it to look and see what the wait times are too. You know, but outside of that, I really do not use it. I mean, we mobile ordered one time, which I'll tell you what, if people are not using mobile order, they are really missing out. I mean,
I didn't use it because I didn't have to.
It was really busy one day at Hollywood Studios, and we went and we ordered from ABC Commissary. It was about a 5-minute walk for us. We got a push notification just as we were walking in the door that our food was ready. We just walked up, scanned our bands, walked back with our food. And that place, that line was easily 30 deep all the way across.
On a busy day, when I was there right after the storm, there was no need for it. There was no need for it. So,
but you know, while we're on the subject of Disney, they just raised their annual pass rates again, and I know they do it once a year. Now they did it twice. They did it twice last year. They did it to take advantage of Galaxy's Edge opening. My problem with it is they only raised it on out-of-state residents. Why would you raise it on out-of-state residents? I realize that Walt Disney World and Disneyland are two different animals. The majority of people coming to Disney World are out of state. The majority coming in state are in California. But it feels like this raise was to try to thin the parks out a little bit. You look at the other parks around the U.S. Danny, you know Six Flags. Me with Cedar Point. I mean, I can tell you right now, $99. If I didn't get my $99 pass, I could still get it for $129, and it's good for Cedar Point and parking. And for an extra $99, I could go to the other 11 amusement parks around the U.S. and Canada. So for $228, I could have access to 11 Cedar Fair parks. And between Six Flags and Cedar Point, you don't get much more entertainment than you can from those two names.
Exactly.
So not
That's
Disney.
what I was going to ask you. If somebody came to you and said, "Here, I'll use it with me. Here's a Six Flags, here's a Disney pass. Which one do you want? Give me the Six Flags." Number one.
Now, are they?
There's a lot more.
Or am I buying?
You're buying. You're buying.
Okay, if I'm buying the Cedar Point pass. You know, I mean, you're buying the Six Flags. I'm buying the Cedar Point. You
And
know?
money's not an issue. Money's not an issue on this. And even if money's not an issue for it, I'm still buying the Six Flags pass.
Well,
even if I had money that said, here's a lifetime to Cedar Fair, to Six Flags, and here's a lifetime to Disney. Six Flags.
You know, and I don't blame you. I mean, but you are kind of like me. You are like me. You're a coaster junkie. You like thrill rides, and Disney's not going to give you what you're looking for there.
No, it's not. And there's more Six Flags parks than there is. Really?
Yeah.
There's more. Look, I'm going to be honest. 100% honest here. Personal opinion. I think here at Six Flags Over Georgia, there's a lot more for me to do. There's a lot more for anybody to do in the park than there is.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there. But are you also using some of the time that you get because of the smaller park feel? Because I'm sure Six Flags gets busy, but does it ever get
Disney busy?
Does it ever get Disney busy?
Yeah.
Okay, because
sure does.
I know that Cedar Point does. I mean, Cedar Point, I remember, you literally
maybe not
walking
Six Flags over Georgia. Maybe not so much Six Flags over Georgia, but Six Flags Great Adventures, Six Flags over Texas, Six Flags Magic Mountain. Yeah, they definitely get Disney busy. 100%.
See, I just know when I watch your videos, it never. And you may only film when it's a little slower, but it never feels like it's packed. So I don't know because you got a lot around you.
We've learned when the dead times are.
And yeah. And Shelly, thank you for that. Shelly's saying that she follows you guys on Instagram now and follows me on Instagram. Thank you so much,
Shelly.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Yeah, we love that. But
now,
honestly, Disney doesn't Disney's good. It's a good escape. We use it to go away. You know what I mean? Because it's all there. I can go get the food plan, and I don't have to go anywhere. It's all contained in its, it literally Disney World. It literally is its own.
Yeah.
And it's good because the hotels are there, and then I can go to a theme park. All right, well, it's a theme park. Well,
yeah.
So we'll go. We do what we can, and honestly, when we're there, we're done usually. If we're in the park by noon, I'm out of there by 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't go and do. Oh, I have to do rope drop in this. No. I'll let the crowd go before me. I let them go before me. Let the transportation centers clear up. Let the buses. If I'm waiting at the bus stops at the hotel, I get on the bus. Well, I'm gonna have to give my seat up to a kid, and things like that. I'm sorry, I'm not like that. I like to. I know it's a short ride and all, but you understand what I mean. I'm on vacation. Okay. Okay. I come from New York, where 9 out of 10 times I have to stand unless it's the beginning of the line.
Yeah.
That's what I had to deal with most of my life. Living here in Georgia, obviously it's different everywhere. I get it. But I'm on vacation. I want that seat. So I'm going to find a way to get that seat. That means I have to not go for rope trip. Because then it's that massive, it's like the saying, you turn the light on and the cockroaches scatter. That's what it reminds me of. That's really what it reminds me.
Yeah, Shelly's got it right there, and I can't tell you how many times I have done this, even as a kid. Cedar Point open to close, and on a Saturday, back in the day, they would open at 9, and they wouldn't close till 1 a.m. And I mean, now you might stand in line for a roller coaster for 2 hours, but you know, it was nothing.
No. I've done this too. I get it, because I've done it at Six Flags, Great Adventures. Okay, get there for park open, and get there, and you leave at park close. Number one, it was a 2-hour drive for me. I was getting the most out of it. Number two, you go there and you know you're spending the day, right? And you're there with a good crowd, with a good set of people that you're there with. You're just hanging out for the day. You get there in the morning, you're able to get some rides in. Okay, we got some big coasters in. It's starting. I just starting to fill up. It's usually probably around 12, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, cool. Let's grab some lunch. Just, sit around, people, walk amongst yourselves, watch a show, go catch a smaller ride. Catch one of the dark rides or something, Just hang around a little bit. Now, 4 o'clock or so, those people that were in the park, when you got there, oh man, we're tired. Let's go. Let's go home. We got the 2-day park pass. We'll come back tomorrow. So now that park is yours again. So now people are like, oh wait, we didn't eat yet. So let's go grab dinner. Let's go grab a coaster. Right after that, 7 o'clock or so, the lines start filling up again. Let's go grab dinner.
Yeah. And you learn that over time. And, it's so hard to judge that with Disney. I mean, you've really got one time to choose a good time to ride anything at Disney, and that's for fireworks. If there's something that you absolutely have to ride, you don't get a fast pass, you have to miss fireworks. And I hate to say it, but one of the greatest things.
That's another thing too. Is really Disney. Makes me mad at Disney is you go there and you can only ride the ride one time that you really like. Yeah. Okay. I like Splash Mountain. I ain't getting in line to wait 2 hours on Splash Mountain. I like the 7 Doors Mine Train. Well, guess what? I got a fast pass and I can't get another. Why? Why can't I get another one? Well, if I go to Six Flags or Cedar Point, where I can use the Express Pass lane, the whole pager thing that they have. Well, now Six Flags are actually on your wrist. They're like watches. Well,
okay, so they went with a.
Have that ride again if I want.
Yeah. Now, how much is it for like Express Pass? Like, if you get it for a day at Six Flags, how much does it cost you?
It's ridiculous, but it's like $80.
Okay, so it's comparable to Disney or to Cedar Point, because Cedar Point it's $74.95 for a day. But, and I brought this up before, if you are making a once in a lifetime trip, I mean, say you're 3 states away, you want to go to Cedar Point for the day, and you wind up scoring some, you go online, you buy your passes for $45 to Cedar Point, which you can find them all over the place. If you walk up to the gate and buy a pass again in Cedar Point for a day, it's going to cost you $64.95. But you can buy them all the time for $35-$40 online.
Wait, that's it? It's only $64?
I think it's I think it was $64.95 last year, but it's probably went up.
That's cheaper than Six Flags.
Well, I can tell you, it probably went up because Cedar Point sold, I think, more gold passes than what they wanted to. So they're probably going to try to fight that. They're probably going to have less promotions this year because they're really going to screw the pooch.
Realistically, you're still going to get your people coming. It doesn't matter. Even Disney, you're going to get people still going to. Oh, all right. Well, they put their prices up. Okay, I'm still going. Yeah. It's a theme park. It's entertainment. People are going to pay for entertainment, no matter how much it is. I go to amusement parks. I don't even thing, and I'm like, okay, how much is the price of this part? Like, go to Hershey Park. All right, how much is Hershey Park? Oh, okay, that's how much I need. All right, cool. May not be able to get food, but
yeah. Well, yeah, I remember getting cans of Coke or Pepsi. You just walked up and said, me and my friend want to go in, and you bought one ticket, you got one free, and
yeah,
you're not
no,
going
it's
to
only
see a lot of that
$10
at Cedar
now.
Point this year. Yeah, you're not going to see a lot of that
Six
at
Flags
Cedar Point
did
this
that
year.
too. Six Flags, buy one get one, so buy one get half off, and you don't see that. It's $10 off your admission. Now, last year they didn't even do Coke cans last.
Oh, they didn't.
No.
See, and that's like, have you ever been to Dollywood? Because you're only like 3.5 hours away from Dollywood.
Or no, I have not been there, and it's on our list.
And yeah, it's definitely on my list. I've watched a few different videos on people that have went, and it was more than what I thought it was. And one of the things that I really enjoyed about it is the most sensory ready park in the nation. They actually have escape areas for people with sensory issues.
Yes,
which I think is that's something.
It's Dollywood, Dorney Park, Six Flags Great Adventures actually just got it this year. Quite us it.
Okay.
I mean, obviously Disney, but I'm not even including them because they're going to do it no matter what. Because there's only a handful of places that actually are sensory escape rooms.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I think places like Disney could do a lot better. I mean, they basically got the baby care centers are sensory approved, and there's only one of those in each park. And it's supposed to be a place where you're able to take your kid and and they're supposed to forget about everything.
That's rough. Yeah, and like, let's just say the Magic Kingdom. I know where is it it's in the back of Frontierland.
Yeah.
If I'm over in Tomorrowland with somebody that's having a breakdown, I got to take them all the way across the park during this breakdown.
Yeah, and
like there should be one in each land.
Yeah, and they're not fun. I've been through a couple of them, and it is really hard. And it's heartbreaking at the same time because they can't help that they're complete. I mean, look at everything going on at Disney World at once, even in one place.
So,
there's way too many people.
Sensory overload.
Yeah,
it's an overload.
There's sounds coming from everywhere. Everything is moving, and I hate to say it, but not everybody is the nicest people at Disney. And I've had a million great encounters with people at Disney World in lines, but I've had a few. I can't think of too many times in my lifetime I've had bad interactions at Cedar Point. Well,
a lot of people don't.
I mean, I love her.
No, no, it's not even that Dollywood even exists. So it's just, it is what it is. But no, but Disney's sensory overload right there. Like, not even for a normal person. Like for me, I'm like, all right, I need a break. Like too much going on. Like, like you literally like walk around Disney. Families are having fights.
Oh, yeah.
I know this one firsthand experience. But that's another story for another day. Off stream.
Well, not for nothing. It's nothing, we're having a good time, and next thing you know, me and my wife are arguing back and forth. And I mean, and it has nothing to do with each other. We've just had enough for the day. But you feel like you have to go and go and go and go and go because you spend so much on it. And my wife is not a go, 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 go person. She's more like you. She'd rather not rope drop.
Well,
and I would rather rope drop.
See, well, here's the thing is, before I was with Jess, I would have been that one in the Magic Kingdom all day or in Animal Kingdom all open or closed. I paid for it, I paid to be there. I'm going to be there. I'm going to do all this stuff. I'm going to sit there and watch things and this, I'm going to. Jess, she's like, nope, we're going in. We're going to do this and we're out. We'll go back to the hotel. If you want to go back later, we're out. You got it.
Yeah.
And so she kind of showed me that side of life. And I'm like, oh, this ain't that bad. I'm like, take your time, chill out. You actually enjoy it a little more.
Well, we took a break every day except for, I can't remember which day. She can probably tell me better than I can. I think it was the last day we went and we stayed all day. But we wound up splitting up each day. We wound up going back, even if it was just for an hour and a half. We get back, take a 45-minute nap, an hour nap, or the kids swam for a little bit, then back we go for the rest of the evening.
Yeah, and that's another thing too is when I'm at Disney, I'm at a resort with a pool, and I know I'm paying for that. 100% know I'm paying for that pool. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to find a way to use that pool every day.
Yeah.
And
Noah, welcome in, buddy.
Give me that. Hey, Noah, what's going on, buddy? How are you? Thanks for joining us. You know what I mean? Like, I'm paying for it. I want to use it.
Yeah, and you talking about like going to Great Adventure and spending the entire day there. Cedar Point, you do the same thing because Cedar Point, it's not easy to go back and forth to Cedar Point. I mean, don't get me wrong, Cedar Point does have some resorts, but it's like staying at Disney. Right. It's going to cost you. Really the only one we're staying at is Hotel Breakers, which is right on property. The rest of them are kind of pushed out a little bit, and you can't just walk into the park.
Thank goodness I'm only 20 minutes away from Six Flags Over Georgia. Okay, no problem. Like I can go there whenever I want. I get out of work to the park. I can go whenever. So it doesn't bother me. But think of it this way: people that are coming to this park, just obviously you're going to get a hotel room. Now, the only hotel rooms you have, number one, are by the theme park. So we know any theme park, a hotel that's what they do. Their prices are way high. And the one by the theme park, I think, is like a Days Inn or something like that. Which, all right, it's a name brand. Days Inn, you're going to pay that price at a Days Inn just to be by the theme park? No. So, not now. So the next set of hotels you have are downtown Atlanta or down by the airport. Again, you're looking at prices sky high because of convenience. So,
yeah, now how is everything around Six Flags? Are there hotels around? Is there like a hotel strip that's right in the area? No. See, Cedar Point, because there's only I know there's 2 ways on and off.
The neighborhood around Six Flags isn't the best.
Oh, okay.
I know that.
So it's kind of like going to Great Adventure. You're kind of on your own. What's that, Bax?
Yeah.
Great Adventure. You don't want to venture too far. You don't really venture too far away.
But no, you don't want to go to like downtown Jackson.
I don't.
I don't.
I mean, I'd rather go to downtown Jackson than I would to Newark or Trenton. But
Trenton, Philly.
yeah. Oh, and get me started on Philly. I hate Philly.
Yeah, I know.
No offense to anybody that might be watching this from Philly. Philly is horrible. I mean, I know some really good people from there. I know some really good people that are from Philly. But,
yeah.
But
back in the day, it was a little run down.
Yeah, it's still a little run down.
By the college respect, by Drexel and all that. Yeah, no.
Yeah, when we came home from Atlantic City a couple years ago, we went in one way, come out the other, and neither side looked much better. I mean, literally, exactly. Philly reminded me of driving through the Elizabeth area. That's how bad it was. It looked like Gotham City. And I mean, like I said, I'm sure that I know for a fact there are some great places in Philly. But
yes, there are.
No. I hate driving through Philly too.
You ever do the Philly the cheesesteak challenge, the corner cheesesteak challenge?
Oh, they're on the corner of 8th and Walnut. Yeah.
Yeah.
A long, long time ago. And you know what? I've had better cheesesteaks. I hate to say it. It's just because they're from Philly. I mean, come on. I've had better cheesesteaks in Seaside. I mean, come on. Now, have you ever been up to Boston?
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Have you ever driven, Boston, I talk about a lot of places that are horrible. Boston is not a bad town. Problem is even GPS doesn't know how to get you around Boston. There is not a straight line anywhere.
It's got some weird back alleys and things, and then you're like, okay, I don't think I belong here. Is this even a road?
Yeah,
it's a road where all of a sudden it's closed down because there's an outdoor mall there or something. It's like, what?
Yeah, there's no straight roads anywhere in Boston. And if you try to go down any side streets, you better hope no one's coming the other way because cars park on both sides. The roads are like 5 foot wide.
Yeah, it's all cobbled.
Oh, Shelly, I would give anything for a good Louisiana po' boy right now.
Especially right now. There's Mardi Gras coming up. Heck yeah.
Yeah, get some nice shrimp, a good remoulade, a good fresh roll.
I was going to say, if I talk about Boston right now, I can definitely go for a nice little lobster roll right now.
Oh, I'd love to have some lobster roll right now.
Or some mac and cheese. Oh, man.
Just lobster. Good
lobster ravioli.
Yeah. Hey,
Hey, Michael.
You name
What's
it.
Up?
With lobster. What's up, Michael? Yeah, I definitely anywhere up that way.
Yep.
Is she bringing you another fishing reel?
She better not be. I'm in our studio room and I have the window open. She just took the dog out to go do her rebel duties. So she comes up to the window. I was like, oh, what? So.
Yeah, when I went to Maine a long time ago, I think I spent an entire week.
No, Shelly, not at all.
No, you cannot.
No.
I'll tell you a funny story. When I was there, I'm a huge sports fan. So the one thing, if you're a sports fan and you're in Boston, what do you want to see? You want to see the lights at Fenway Park. You can't see the stadium because it's just surrounded by everything. I mean, literally, It's one of the worst placed stadiums in the world. But, just to drive past, to drive past one of the most historic ballparks in the United States, all I wanted to do was see it. I could not find it. I was lost in Boston in downtown for over an hour. And
Oh, Lord.
I finally seen it. Then I wound up all the way down in Cambridge. I wound up going past Boston University. I wound up going past all sorts of stuff. And I'm finally like how do I, and then I finally stopped at an IHOP. And I was like, let's get some food. Yeah.
Let's wait.
Yes.
Wait.
Well,
let's be honest. So IHOP is really the Waffle House of the North. Okay. So let's be honest.
Okay. So I stopped in there. I'm like, I'll grab some lunch. I can see I-95. That's what I need. I'm heading to Salem.
Okay.
I need I-95. I didn't see an exit sign. So I'm like, we'll come in here. We'll just go ahead and get something to eat. I'll ask the waiter, hey, how do I get on I-95 North? He's like, oh, you can't get on North from here. And he writes down the directions for me, right? So I wound up going. There was construction, of course, in Boston. I can't imagine any construction. I was there during the big dig time. Remember when they were doing the big dig? When they were putting in the underground tunnels? Okay, I was driving through Boston while they were trying to accomplish this. This was before the tunnel collapsed. So so I follow this guy's directions, and I get there, and they've got the exit ramp closed. So I come back around, and I figure out how to get back to this IHOP. I'm like, I know there's an exit right here. I go around, I turn left around that corner, and you know what there was there? There was an exit ramp right there for I-95 North. I spent a total of 3 hours in Boston trying to get on I-95.
Yep.
So I wasted half a day.
95 is always the worst highway up north. It's always the worst.
Well, because it takes you everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, it's the main corridor through New England. You know, take you all the way. It'll take you all the way up to the top of Maine.
Yeah, it will. That's like when Jess and I went up to Salem. We went up around weekend in October one year, about 3 years ago, right before we moved down here. So we're up there. We're in Salem. We're at the water where all the restaurants and stuff are.
Mm-hmm.
And we're looking out, and then you see the ferry to Boston. And it's just that haze over Boston. It's like, yeah, I don't want to go there.
No. Yeah, we stayed overnight in Boston. And I'll tell you what, we stayed in a pretty decent hotel right off of the turnpike. Yeah. And it was horrible. And, you know, now
I'll tell you a horror story about a hotel.
Okay, we got to hear this one.
Well, let's finish Boston first, because, you know. But realistically, there's a lot to do in Boston. A lot of really cool things to do in Boston. Historical-wise, I mean, let's be honest, you have Cheers.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go to Cheers. And the aquarium that they have there is amazing. Definitely.
I wanted to take a tour. Of the original Sam Adams Brewery. Yeah, I heard that's a really fun tour, and they didn't have them on Sundays. And we got there on a Saturday night, so I woke up and just was sad and drove on up because I heard it's, you know, you can actually at the one in Boston. They have under glass all the original recipes for beer that Sam Adams wrote out by hand. And you know, for me as someone who likes beer, that's interesting to me. I mean, I enjoy beer and I enjoy learning about breweries and stuff. And that I wanted so bad to go to that. And it was like, one day I'll make it out there again. I'm sure it's not the same as it used to be, but Shelly's asking if it involves
and everything else too, and
which I'm a huge fan of that brewery. I like what they produce, so it'd have been a lot of fun.
Right,
Shelly? Yes, it's actually worse than Cincinnati. If you can imagine driving through Cincinnati, and especially downtown around the zoo. If you're familiar with around University of Cincinnati and the zoo area and all that, imagine that only 10 times worse. because I've never been so lost in my entire life.
But it's not as bad as
Never.
New York City.
But New York City, the roads are straight. I mean, you can't, there's traffic everywhere. But at least if you drive down and you make a left, you know you can, if not at the next light, the light after, you can make 2 more lefts and be back where you were.
Well,
you can make 2 lefts in Boston and wind up in Cambridge.
Right. You had your streets that ran north and south. Like Fifth Avenue and all that, Broadway, all that ran north and south. You knew that.
Yep.
So now you ran to the east. Then you had one that ran east and west, and then you had one that ran west. So you knew, like, okay, 2 more blocks to go back downtown, So it may have taken you an hour just to go those 2 blocks, but
yeah, it might have taken you an hour just to get through the next light.
Exactly.
That's the bad part about New York City is the gridlock. I mean, and they'll never figure that out there. They've tried they've been talking about that for 20 years, about the gridlock and the problems with it.
They thought they figured it, but realistically, it would never have gone by, and I was not about to have it either. Where, let's look at Manhattan. Manhattan's an island.
Yep.
How do you get on to an island? There's only one way to get onto an island. Let's be honest.
Yep.
Is on a bridge.
Yep.
So you have a couple bridges that they wanted to put tolls at. They wanted to put a toll at every bridge. And if you didn't have in your car, they wanted to charge you more.
Yep. And then they only charged you coming into the city. Now, I know for the longest time they did. I don't know if that's changed. But, Philly's the same way with the Ben Franklin Bridge. You only pay going into the city. They figure you came in, you've spent your money, they're not going to charge you to leave.
No, they want you to leave. Bye.
Yeah. Get on out of here.
When you pay to come in. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. It would never have gone over. But a cool place a state that you should look into is Connecticut.
We drove through it. We didn't stop.
There's a lot to do in Connecticut. There's a lot of factories there's a lot of nautical things if you're into that kind of stuff. I mean, like pirates and things like that.
The Pez Factory.
Yes, Jess, I was getting into that. Thanks. As Jess just said, there's the actual Pez factory is in Connecticut, and you can actually go and take a tour of the Pez factory.
Oh, is that where they make Pez?
Yep.
See, I did not know that.
95, right by Hartford area. Around
good old Pez, kitty cocaine.
And the big factory is there too.
Yep. What? Oh, it's in Connecticut. I thought it was in Massachusetts.
No, it's in Connecticut.
Gillette. So Bic's in Connecticut, Gillette's in Boston.
Yep.
So all the razors are made out there.
Yep, exactly.
Shelly, what's wrong with pumpkin?
What?
Okay. Robin's getting random on us.
I see that. That's fine. That's fine. So, my random hotel disaster story. You ready for that?
Yeah.
So
I love good random horror stories.
Yeah. So Jess and I, when we go to Hershey or whatever, we stay in Lancaster. Okay, we don't stay in Hershey because Hershey's and Lancaster is only about 15, 20 minutes away from the park. Okay, cool.
Were you able to find a
We're
place
cheap.
with electricity in Lancaster?
Yeah.
A lot of Amish,
There's a bunch
lot of
of
Amish
places.
out there.
Oh, there is. Oh, wait, I'll tell you about that one too. This is actually all the same trip. I'll tell you that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah. So we go and we're only going for the weekend and we're going for Christmas time. So we're like, all right, well, we're cheap. We don't have money like that. We're gonna find a cheap place. Okay, cool. So we went out one time. There was a Knights Inn we stayed at. It was cheap. It was good. Okay, fine. So it was there. They were available. All right. It was. Come on. It was your typical cheap motel setup and smell and everything. So sliding glass and everything. So whatever.
Oh,
We don't care. I mean, I grew up in the Bronx. I don't care. So I'm like, all right, fine, cool. So we get into the room. We're looking. This looks like a murder scene. There were stains on the carpet. Like, thank goodness there was no bed bugs or anything. That's
There you go, Shelley. No
checks
bed
all that all the time. Yeah. So we checked. So all right. You know what? Whatever. It's the weekend. We can deal with this. There was like pieces of the wall falling off and everything. Like, all right, whatever. We can deal. Whatever. It's not the worst. It's fine. Whatever. 2:00 in the morning. Yeah. 2:00 in the morning, all of a sudden, the headboard comes falling down onto us. What the heck? You can only imagine what we're. What the heck just happened?
He didn't say what the heck.
What? I run down to the front. I'm like, your headboard just fell out. Oh, you must have pulled it. Pulled it or not, it should not have fell on me. It should have been attached to the wall.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh.
I'm like, why are you blaming me? I'm like, give me that phone number to corporate. A free night in that hotel still. Not like I'm going back to it.
You got a free night at the Knights Inn, huh?
Yeah.
Have you ever been out west?
To where? The furthest west I've been to was Wisconsin.
Okay. I drove home from Arizona one time.
Okay.
I left Arizona. I got about 20 miles outside of Albuquerque, and I decided to find a place to stay. I was just tired. I knew I had a really long drive ahead. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to. So I pull into this place, right? And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, this place looks like it used to be a retirement home. You know how retirement homes have that look, one floor plan, and when you walk in, it just looks it looked like it had a nurse's station. That's where you check in, and I'm like, oh well, it was like $29. Yeah, $29 for the night, and I'm like, that's good for me. I just need to sleep. So I walk into this room, and the bed is lumpy without anybody in it. It's made, but made like a 10-year-old made it.
Okay.
And I go to sit down on this thing, and the mattress ends actually pull up a little bit. The corners kind of went like this.
Uh-huh.
When I sit down, I'm like, okay, $29. I just need to sleep and leave.
I was just going to say, yeah.
So I'm like, I said, something just tells me there's something under the bed. I look under there. There's one shoe. And it's a size 15. One size 15 shoe.
What?
How does someone leave one shoe behind? Okay. And then I go in, I take a shower, and I shut it off, and the water will not shut off. completely. I mean, it's not like running like hardcore, but it's like it's in there going. It's trickling. You know, kind of like you did in New York to keep your pipes from freezing when it's below zero. You know, that really slow trickle, but it's dropping from 9 feet up and hitting a plastic floor. So I hear this all night. So I'm coming out of the bathroom and I'm like, I'm going to brush my teeth and everything. I get the sink turned on.
I wouldn't even have done that water.
Damn sink. It wouldn't shut off. So I had to call them. They sent some guy up. He looked like he's like 90 years old. He goes in. He has to shut the water off to the room, to the sink. He's like, I can't fix it. I'm like, you can't just put a new seal in this real quick so it turns all the way off. He's like, nope, you can't fix it. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm getting up and leaving in the morning anyway. So I go to bed. Now, an hour after all this, I lay down and I'm trying to go to sleep, and I can hear, remember Beavis and Butthead? I can hear Beavis and Butthead. I mean, literally hear the show. So I call the front desk. I'm like, can you ask the person in the next room to turn down their TV? I can't sleep. I can hear Beavis and Butthead.
That's probably the guy that was running the hotel for the night.
And they're like, there's no one in the next room. They're like, there's like the next room, or it's like 2 rooms down from you is the next guest. I'm like, I can hear his TV from like 2 more rooms down. So I'm like, you know what? Like I said, I just need to sleep and get up. I've got to drive all the way to Ohio. I'm going to try and do this in one day.
Yeah.
So I lay there. Finally, Beavis and Butthead go off the air, and he must have shut his TV off. I finally. So lo and behold, I get up. I'm like, go to the bathroom, come back. And as I'm walking back, I'm watching a trail of ants walk across the sink and across countertops. And I'm like, where the hell are all these ants coming from? There's a colony of ants in this room.
Wow.
So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to sleep. I woke up the next morning. They said, how was your stay? I said, it was great. I just looked and said, it was great. Have a good day. Because I knew I'd never see these people again. I mean, they barely spoke English to begin with. You know, because the area I'm in is a highly Hispanic community. And I can tell you, I never before and probably never again will have a night in a hotel like I had in that one. But I still vividly remember. I almost took the shoe home just to be like, hey. But I kept thinking to myself, what if there was a murder committed in this room and they were trying to clean up the evidence, you know? And they just left the shoe behind.
Smell like bleach?
Well, you wouldn't have been able to smell the bleach over. It had that. We haven't cleaned that well smell. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't that well. So,
crazy.
It was the worst and greatest experience of my life. I mean, because when you think you're having a bad hotel experience, you can just think back to it could have been this. Yeah.
Well, that's right, because that experience that I had. So you want to talk about how I'm in Amish country, right? So how do they commute with their horse and buggy, right? So Jess goes to me, she's like, all right, before we go anywhere, I want my Dunkin' Donuts. You got it. I'll run across and get you Dunkin' Donuts. Just right across the road here. Just run over there and get it. Not an issue. All right. Working. First of all, it's a highway. I probably should have gotten in the car. I really probably should have gotten in the car and gone across the highway. It's like, why did the Danny cross the road? Okay, it really, okay. Anyways, no cars. I'm fine. All of a sudden, this horse and buggy comes out of nowhere and almost hits me. And I see a horse right here. I'm like, what the? You know, it's me, Tony, okay?
Big City Danny.
In New York at the time. I was living in New York at the time. I kind of feel bad now for some of the things I said to these poor Amish people. What are you thinking? You almost hit me with a horse. Jess is hysterically laughing right now because she knows what this story. And these Amish people, I mean, we're going back and forth. Oh, you shouldn't have crossed the road. I'm like, what do I look like, a chicken? I don't cross for no reason. I'm just trying to get coffee. Yeah. So I turn around, I'm like, watch where you're going. They're like, watch where you're going. I'm like, have a nice. Yeah. Face to face with the horse. You're like,
yeah, and yeah. Road Trip Dave, what's going on, buddy?
what's up, Dave? What's going on, man? Glad you came in here tonight. But
yeah,
one, I came back to the room and I was like, Jess, I almost got into a fight with an Amish man. She was like, why? I go, hit me. She looks at me and goes, where's my coffee? Here. That's all I care.
What's up, guys?
Hey, DTV, what's going on? How was dinner? They just finished dinner, Tony.
Yeah, I used to have to drive around with Amish every day. I mean, not drive them. I mean, drive around them. Yeah, for almost 20 years, I worked in the heart of Amish country here in Ohio, and
yeah,
they you know, and it's a good mix of old order and new order, which I don't know if you're familiar with the difference.
Yes.
Old order,
yes.
Everything's in black. They don't use even battery power. Their lights are candle lit, and they are very hard to see at night. And working night shift was horrible because these guys would be out riding their horse and buggy at like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. You know, so
to get to the field.
Yeah. So I don't know how many times I almost came face to face with the hood of my car and a horse. And I actually knew a guy.
You know what I'm talking about.
I actually knew a guy that actually hit a horse with his truck, totaled his truck.
And I'm
totaled his truck. Yes. The guy lost control of his horse, and the guy was pulling out of the gas station, and the horse bucked and pushed out and went right in front of the truck as he was pulling out. And I mean, it buckled the front end of his truck.
The horse pulled out of the gas station?
No. The horse was stopped.
Okay. You had me scared for a minute.
You know where they fill the horse up at, right?
I don't want to know.
Lift the tail. You got to lift the tail. No, the gas station was like literally. Yep. Yep. You just flip it up, you stick the tube in, and you fill it up.
I don't want it. I'm not either into that because there's so much we can do and discuss about that one, and I'm not going there.
No, you're not. Well, you know,
even though we have this, no, there's just some random.
Hey,
no.
You want a great story about an Amish guy I knew that had to stand up in front of his church and apologize to the congregation. He got caught. He got caught.
Yeah.
Stump breaking a cow. You ever heard of stump breaking? Yeah, he got caught with his pants down with a cow once. Yeah, he was the deacon. He was the deacon of the church. He had to stand up in front of everybody in the church and tell them what he did and apologize and ask for forgiveness.
just they're like they're people. They don't do everything right. I mean, you know, I don't know what kind of mind frame that would be for someone, but you know, like
Yep.
they make their own laws and stuff too, right? They don't follow like city laws or like you live with that, like in the same community as them, so you would know. This really has gone random.
Yeah, it was unique. I mean, it wasn't like living on Indian land. I mean, they didn't have their own tribal laws and everything. They were still subject to the same
Right.
laws as you and I are. But the things I learned as I worked up there, the things that got swept under the rug, because they would literally go to, you know, the municipalities and the villages and be like, let us handle our own, you know, when certain crimes were committed. And
Yeah.
sometimes things got handled in a very brutal manner, you know, because they are very, you know, they're very 1800s.
Very
you know, they
old
believe
school, like
foul.
old age. Yeah.
Yep. They still have, all the kids go to the same school. They only go up to the 8th grade. And then once they're done with eighth grade, they are out in the world, you know, and now I've worked with some really great Amish people. Don't get me wrong. I've worked with some really awesome Amish people in my life, but there's just like with any other segment of society, there's some odd ones, and these ones were off the rails.
They don't have to pay taxes.
Oh, my wife said they don't have to pay taxes. They don't have to. They also do not pay road tax. You know, because all road tax in Ohio is fuel tax.
Really using a vehicle. Yeah.
But they're using the roads. They cause more damage to roads than cars.
Do they register their buggies though?
Nope. Not the state of Ohio. And there's still a huge fight between the Amish communities in Ohio and the state of Ohio, because Ohio is telling them they need to what's called diaper the horses. It's just a swag bag that goes, and they just refuse to do it, especially old order, which they don't believe, like I said, they don't believe in using anything modern, like batteries or you know, they'll use fuels, they'll use candles, wood, and everything, but they won't use anything that is man-made. And it's funny because I had a friend of mine who used to drive back and forth to work, and he'd have me pull up beside Amish people. It would be a man driving the buggy. He'd always ask him, "Hey, man, are those pants Levi's?" One day, this guy looked over and goes, "No, they're my pants. Why do you ask?" Because a lot of guys there named Levi.
Levi, yeah. That's funny.
So yeah, it's an interesting culture. I mean, you know, if it's all you know, then and a lot of these people with yeah, I'm sure it's not easy to diaper a horse. And how did we get here?
I mean, talking about how I almost got hit by a horse and buggy.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden we're a lot of other things. Yeah. Mennonites are interesting as well. They're one step removed from being Amish. You know, they want to live with some of the amenities that what they call everybody who's not Amish, they call them English, which I don't know. Right. I'm not English. But
Giants are more Lancaster ones. Those are the major ones out there in Lancaster in Pennsylvania. I don't know. Do they like tour businesses and stuff like that there too in Ohio, like the horse and buggy rides and all that?
If they do, I've never really come across them.
Because if you go to Lancaster, they're all over the place out there. Like you got, you know, Jacob's horse and buggy. Come visit the working Amish farm and you know things like that, and they're making money off of you visiting them as they're working.
Yeah. Well, that's like the only Amish guy I ever really had a lot of respect for was old Woody Harrelson when he played Hezekiah in Kingpin. Old brother
Yes.
Hezekiah. I mean, how
Yeah.
do you not like brother Hezekiah?
Well, they recently made a whole TV show about the kids, like Amish kids that are trying to
Out on
escape the
Rumspringa.
whole. Yeah. And
And it was always amazing to
really
me
interesting.
the amount of them that actually go back to live in that culture. And I call it culture because it's more culture than it is religion. I mean, because it's
Yeah.
really their religion is completely Christianity based.
Yeah.
But they believe more in the Old Testament of things than the New Testament. They believe in more severe punishments. They believe in more of the teachings of the Old Testament, which
Yeah.
were pretty brutal, in comparison. So, but, and one of the craziest things in where I used to work is in the summertime, you got these kids that turn 16. They're out on what's called Rumspringa, which is their time to go out and decide if they want to become members of the church or if they want to leave the Amish community. And
become part of the greater public.
Yeah. The parties that you've seen these kids throw was insanity. The sheriff's department where I used to live, in the summertime, you would look in the newspaper for the county I used to live in, and every Yoder and Miller you could think of was in there. The ones that were of age to go in the paper. And then you'd read a report that there was a party with 200 underage kids, and immediately it was because of a party thrown by a bunch of Amish kids. But insanity.
That's crazy.
But if you leave the community, you leave your family. Your family shuns you. So I can see why a lot of them go back. All is family. So if you leave, you're leaving on your own. So unless you have family that's already left, you almost need to go back. And at
the age out and doing that, there's no way to survive on your own at that age in a big city, because that's where they want to go is country. I'm not staying in the country. I'm going to a big city. Like the ones in Ohio, they'll probably go to like Cincinnati or Cleveland, and the ones in like New York or Philadelphia or something, and you're not making it. Like,
no,
I'm sorry, like it's just not at that age. At 16, big cities, you are not making it.
Yep. No, but you'd be amazed how many of them you run into when you're in Pennsylvania, as younger kids that you wouldn't even realize were Amish, because when they get out of the homemade clothes and into everything else, they live just like my kids would as teenagers. And then a lot of them, like I said, they go back to live their life on the farm for the rest of their life because they got to experience.
We were in Pennsylvania once, and we went to Dutch Wonderland, which is like a kiddie-ish amusement park right there in Pennsylvania, in Lancaster. And a whole family of Amish people were in Dutch Wonderland, in the amusement park. Like, what is this? Like, we're like following them around. This is like way before I was with Jess. Like, I was out there, we took my sister out there, and so I'm like following them around. I'm like, all right, we got to investigate this. What's going on? Like, why are they here? Yeah. But here they are. They're going on the roller coaster and everything. I'm like, I guess you're you are entitled to have fun too. I'm like, okay,
yeah.
I mean, I can get down with it. So I'm like,
were they riding the rides too, or just taking in the day?
They were on the rides and everything.
Now, here's my favorite little Amish story from where I used to work and I lived for a time. The Walmart up there is filled with them on a daily basis. And I don't mean this demeaning of anybody in any way. I really don't. But one of the biggest shocks in my system, because they like to portray themselves as a little bit better than everybody else because of the way they live. And they're a little better and they raise themselves better and everything, is when I walked around the corner of an aisle in Walmart and I ran into a man about my age, about half my size. He was a little mini Amishman. And I've ran into some people that are dwarves in my life, and it didn't shock me. But to see a dwarf Amishman wearing his little homemade clothes may have been the greatest thing I ever seen in my life. Because he already had a chip on his shoulder because he was Amish. You could tell the way he acted. But I walked around the corner, and I mean, you know, when you see something that out of the ordinary to you, what's the first thing you do? You look. And he looked at me and he goes,
that?
He's like, really? You got a problem with my size? And I'm like, no.
No.
I said,
I love your size.
He's like, well, you don't have to stare at me. He goes, I know I'm short. And I go, okay. I said, to be honest with you, I've never seen a dwarf Amishman before. He goes, well, you have now. Now you can leave me alone. Go on about your day. I'm like, okay.
Okay. Have a nice day, sir.
I just wanted to say, go with God. Yeah.
Wow. You know how to pick the winners, huh?
Shelly, a lot of Amish, they don't bathe normally. And, you know, a lot of them, they don't believe in artificially scenting themselves. And deodorant has a scent. And they don't believe in wearing deodorant. They don't believe in soaps that have scents. So even if they did bathe, there's not a lot of cleanliness to their scent. And yeah.
But it's a lifestyle for them, you know? It's gotta respect it.
You know, we're only 100 years removed from when we stunk a lot. Can you imagine what people smelled like in the early 1900s? Before we had deodorant on a daily basis.
I mean, really, you know, go back. Why does everything have to go back to? You think of it in Frontierland. What's running down the middle of the street?
Yep. And most people don't realize why that is made that way. Walt wanted it to look authentic.
It's an important part of history, though. It's an important part of history before plumbing.
Yep. I'm just glad that I have indoor plumbing.
I sure am too.
I thoroughly enjoy having indoor plumbing. I would not want to go outside. It's 30 degrees outside, I think, right now. 36. I wouldn't want to be outside in an outhouse right now.
It's warm down here tonight, but it's raining. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
so we've gone
all over.
Yeah, back there, I think, was our exit ramp. We done passed it a few times.
That's fine, though.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. So
exactly.
How do you move on from smelly Amish short guys that drive buggies and know someone that almost ran Danny over?
No clue. No. Like, we should make a horror movie where the Amish person is just, a whole Amish horror.
Attack of the 2-foot Amishman.
No, like I'm thinking more like that movie, The Village done.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was thinking more like Village of the Damned, but with Amish kids.
Yeah.
I don't
Or the
think we can
Children
get
of the Corn.
Yeah. I'm not sure if we can get Christopher Reeves for that part anymore.
I don't think. Well, we could.
Well, it would make it more of a horror movie. Hey, did you
Maybe a
notice the
prop.
shirt tonight, Danny?
I did see it. I did see it.
Shelly. She said it's 25, feels like 15.
I don't envy you.
No,
Don't envy you at all.
we had a stretch back cold for a little bit, and as much as I hate the fact that we've been so jumpy in temperature, I'm really glad that it hasn't gotten down to that horrible, bitter cold.
You see what we had down here in Atlanta on Saturday.
No, what'd you have? Oh, was you guys involved in that? No, I'm talking about the tornado warnings and stuff. Were you guys in that?
Oh, no. Well, they were everywhere, but no. We had snow though. We sure
Did you get
had some
accumulation?
snow. Yeah, not
How much
much,
did you
but maybe an inch. But it was gone as fast as it came.
We had our first real accumulation here a few days ago. The kids didn't have school, so they were loving it. It was their first snow day of the year. And where we live, our kids at the school they're at normally have to make up a few days at the end of the year. We get six weather days every year, and we usually are about 9 or 10.
Even if it snowed now, they would not probably use them all up, so they'll be fine. So what do they do? Get out early if they don't use them?
No. What they do is they have to go extra days. They don't set for
use
those.
them. What if they don't use those days? Like if you had no snow.
No, they don't get out early. Those are days that the state sets aside. You can miss this many days and still reach your. Like the school that my other boys go to, they have what's called blizzard bags, where there's a set amount of assignments. They do them, turn them in. It counts as a day attended at school. But this school district didn't do it. So I don't remember if it was last year or the year before. They had to make up, I think, 5 days. We had a lot of days with inclement weather. I mean, it's nothing like I grew up with, but man, anymore it seems like if it just spits snow, they're on a 2-hour delay. It's almost like it is down there for you.
Well, down here, it doesn't even need to snow. They just need to say, "Oh, snow tomorrow," and then all of a sudden the school is closed and closing. Every county is closing. It's like, okay, but then the next day, like when it's supposed to snow, it's like 70 degrees. Nothing happened. It's like, okay, you guys just really wasted a day for no reason. But okay.
Yeah. Now, Shelly, are you up in the UP or are you just up in northern Michigan? Or I know you said you grew up in, I can't even say the name of the town you grew up in. Just makes me feel sick to my stomach. But
Patrick, are you in Georgia? Because that's exactly what we had today. That's exactly what we had.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's even worse than just being bitter cold. That back and forth stuff, that's what makes you sick.
Well, you also got to remember, is that time of year right now for us down here in the South where it's going to start transitioning. It's going to fight each other. And it's going to start warming up before you guys get warm. So, like come Easter, I'll probably be walking around in a pair of shorts.
You don't have to rub it in.
Sorry.
Danny is a fellow music lover, and I meant to bring this up last time we were on. Are you a Rammstein fan?
Yes.
Do you see they're coming back to the U.S.?
I did. And that's going to
They're
be
doing
crazy.
3 shows. They're doing 3 shows within 5 hours of me. I missed the last time they came.
Well, you should go.
They were in. Where were they at last time? I think they played in Pittsburgh. I think was where they were at. And I had a bunch of friends that went, and they said it was the most amazing show they've ever seen. Takes 20 semi trucks to move their equipment from show to show. You imagine what it takes to get it over here?
I believe it.
Imagine what it takes to get in here.
I wonder if they fly it or if they use it over.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's no wonder they don't come over that often. But yeah, I'd love to go. Problem is I've always been one of those people that I don't like to be in the back of a show. Now I've seen a lot of shows from like an infield or like I love going to open air places. Like we used to have 2 places here. One was called Germain, and there's one that's still open. It's called I can't remember the name, but now it's up north. But you know, it's like a little amphitheater, open air. They've got some seating down front, and then you can sit in the grass section. Usually, you get grass seats for like $10-15.
Yeah, we have that.
No matter
we have those down here. We have 2 of them down here, and we get a lot of big names that come through. And Patrick,
you know, those are
yes, I did.
What
the world is doing, Patrick. If you pay for that, I would love to get into that, 100%. Because that really sounds awesome. So Another World is a big haunt to me. It's the probably best one in the country right now at this point, rated by like Travel Channel and everything like that. So, and they're doing special haunted house for Valentine's Day. So we'll love to get into that.
That'd be pretty cool. Now, is that like a big staging area they use for like haunted houses, or is this something that's permanent?
So this haunted house literally went out and bought their own old factory. There was a factory for sale in the area and bought it. So this way it's a permanent fixture at the location in Stone Mountain, actually. And it's there year round. But they do have an escape room and a horror museum that's open year round. So So yeah, they're able to go and just open up random times during the year, you know, Valentine's Day, Christmas, you know, these random holidays, because they own the property that the home. So
well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Haunted houses never really been my thing. When I was younger, they was, but now ghost hunts, I would enjoy going and doing some of those. We got a place here. It's probably about 12 minutes, about a 12-minute drive from where we live. It's called Prospect Place, and it is part of the Underground Railroad. And actually, I don't know, did you ever watch, it was called Taps? They were from New England. They actually did an episode from down the road from where I live. And it was called Trenway, Ohio. I think it's actually in Dresden. And they found a lot of really cool stuff there because, you know, they were one of the ones that I actually like to watch because they didn't always come back and say, oh, we think something's going on here. They come back and say, well, we found some pipes that were doing this, and this would have caused this. And very rarely did they ever say, we think you have a haunting. So they were very believable. Now, whether they were doing a lot of it for TV, I don't know. But with the, they used a lot of the heat cameras. And they found a lot of stuff there. Like there's a side building because
Really? Sorry, Tony.
that's okay.
Patrick, right now, the Mind Bender is getting retracked also. So the Mind Bender, Tony. I'm sorry. We'll get back to the go.
No, that's fine.
Into what you're talking about right now. Too. Again, randomness.
Hey,
the Mind Bender is one of the oldest looping roller coasters around right now. It's one of the original coasters in Six Flags Over Georgia. And from what Patrick is saying, that it's getting retracked and new cars.
Oh wow,
that's two coasters in this park this year that are getting revamped. And Scream Machine is another one of them that I showed him on one of my videos. Oh yeah, good things happening this year.
Yeah, that is really cool. You know, more than a new coaster, I love when they take a coaster that people are shying away from because I'll give you a great example. Like at Cedar Point, people were shying away from the Mean Streak because it was beating the crap out of people. They brought in RMC and said, "What can you do?" And they created I know it sounds biased, and I still haven't ridden it yet, but I'm just going off of what I hear from people. The best coaster in the United States right now is Steel Vengeance, which and I know I'm the bell ringer for the worst POVs in the world are park POVs. But when you go to Cedar Point's YouTube page and you look up Steel Vengeance, if you go through a ride through on that, you can't help but get goosebumps. It is an amazing roller coaster. And Mean Streak was a great roller coaster for a couple of years. So yeah, I don't even know which coaster it is, and I am getting excited. I love when they revamp roller coasters. Especially, is it a Woody?
Mind Bender's a steel.
I was saying, well, you said it has a loop.
Yeah, the Scream Woody.
Yeah, I knew that one was a Woody.
And that was one of those. It was jumping off the track last year, and it was like this the whole time. I was like, so.
Now, Great American Scream Machine. What is that? A '70s coaster?
Yeah, it's a landmark coaster. Yeah, it's an original also.
Yeah,
it sounds like Georgia's original. They're original and giving them love.
And you know, every park should. You know, like there's a few coasters at Cedar Point. You know, like the Blue Streak. It's 1969. I believe it's one of the last coasters that the original formation of Arrow built, which is now has been come out of bankruptcy twice and is now S&S. You know, who is putting out the Axis coaster. You know, so they've definitely come back. But I take that. Now I was thinking the Magnum was the very last coaster, but that was Intamin. But one of the last coasters I think that Arrow made in their original state, because they come out and they were S&S Arrow, then they went bankrupt.
Yeah.
But I know they went bankrupt the first time in like 70 or 71.
Arrows are novelty right now. They're definitely a thing of the past. That's like this one, the Mind Bender is a Schwarzkopf. So
okay.
Another one that's going extinct. So for them to give a Schwarzkopf love like this and retracking a Schwarzkopf instead of just saying no, goodbye, we're getting rid of it, that's great.
Shelly, didn't they change the Mean Streak? Yes, the Mean Streak is now what is the Steel Vengeance. Yeah, the Mean Streak wasn't built until the late 80s, maybe very early 90s. And the Blue Streak was built in 1969, which, I mean, it is literally a very short out and out or out and back. I mean, but the airtime on that coaster is tremendous. And it's the old seatbelt and lap bar. Make sure you get your seatbelt tight. because there you go.
There's things we're looking at. Keep in mind, we're the Two Real Geeks. We're not just a theme park channel. We're not, you know, comic books or anything like that. Anything like, especially ghost hunting, that can be geeky related, you know, things like that. And honestly, it has not been. It's not like it's not in our past that we haven't done that. I'll give you, like, we've been to a Pennsylvania and things like that. Like one place I'll tell you is, you know, there's a place in Pennsylvania. It's called the Haunted Camp in the Poconos, and they literally in the basement they have this whole area so set up. It's like a whole laboratory area where lived in the house was a doctor, and he would experiment on monkeys for smallpox. So that's how the time frame that you're looking at. And this was before hygiene and this and all that kind of stuff. So you used to take the monkeys and throw the monkeys in the stream in the back. So yeah, we went out there, we saw things, we felt things, and so we're looking into things here in Atlanta too. We got a bunch of things around here, like a couple ghost tours and stuff looking into. You also got to remember is, you know, we're in Atlanta. Atlanta, you know, has a lot of history behind it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where with tunnel that. So,
and it's even been burnt down.
Yep.
There's another place here in Ohio I'd love to go to, which I'm sure you've seen, the Shawshank.
Yes.
That was filmed here in Ohio in Mansfield at it's called the Mansfield Reformatory, and there's there's a lot of stuff. I've got friends that have went up and done. They used to do. I don't know if they still do. They used to do overnights. You went in at sundown and you were there until the morning. I've seen pictures of. Everybody's got their own opinion, but a lot of orbs caught. But there's one, my one friend, Robert, he's probably about your height, but he's standing in the cell. He's got his arms up on top of the cell. And when they developed their pictures, they took some stuff on regular film. And when they got the picture, right behind this shoulder was just a face looking back at the camera.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I got to do that. And my wife's like, no, you don't need to go bringing spirits back to our house, because we've lived in a few haunted houses. This one here,
but you
haven't had any
but they don't bring them home with you. Like, if they're going to do anything, like if they're going to come home, it's something that's, you know, you know it's an from, if it, you know, like you've heard things about, oh, you know, all of a sudden there's things flying at us and this and that, like, you know, all the demonic, you know, like, you know, like they don't follow you home. Like, that's where whatever happened to them is there, like in that jail cell. Like, they're not that else, they're just lost in that jail cell. Like, okay, this is where I was when I died. What is going on? And that's it, you know.
Yeah, Shelley, if you love the structure of the Mean Streak, and I'm saying this totally off of just of what I've read and what I know from people that have ridden it and just watching the ride itself. The Mean Streak was a great ride, but you're going to love Steel Vengeance. The only problem is it's a ride that you have to evacuate everything off of you before you get on. You can't even take as much as keys in your pocket. You go through a metal detector and everything has to go in a locker, which I don't completely agree with, but
this I would have sold. It's funny because when I was in New York, I had a buddy who worked at the city morgue. The whole thing, you know, you find them, we chill them, you know. Well, yeah, that was him. That was him. And I would go in just to visit him. And here I am messing around with things, and yeah. You know, so when body parts get amputated, well, they go down to the morgue, and
Danny's down there playing This Little Piggy Went to Market with a leg.
putting arms around the corners, and as your buddy's coming around, he's like, what? Yeah. I'm not even going to say what else I've held in my hands.
Well, you know, maybe, well, there's statute of limitations, so.
Well, this was years ago, so, I mean, yeah. Don't even get into it right now. I'll tell you later. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Faces of Death. I've never been a big horror movie person, and I tried once to get through one of those, and nah, it just wasn't for me. The whole Faces of Death movies. There's just something about actually.
Joey's saying there, follow if you're too scared. I don't think so. See,
Well, it depends.
Here's the thing.
On the spirit, though, too.
But here's the thing: if you're too scared, you don't belong in that place. Just of your safety with a ghost, because a ghost isn't going to do anything to you. A ghost is a ghost, and that's it. You know. A demonic enterprise, well, yeah, that would do something to you. But honestly, let's be realistic. Though I personally made up in people's heads, and then they, start freaking out. Like, oh, I'm talking to this one, but they want me to do bad things, or these shows make them up too, just for ratings. Like, oh, they got a demon there. They got a demon. They're going to get the demon out of the house. I think it's just a demon, ghosts. Yeah, they're cool. They're just there, So I mean,
I don't know. It's kind of hard to believe in one and not the other. You know what I mean?
I think they're there, but they're not hanging around where ghosts are hanging around. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I can see what you're saying there.
A demon's gonna come out when you start messing around with the Ouija board. I don't own one.
Yeah,
not in this house.
I'm with you there.
You know what I mean?
Nope.
When you're looking for it and you ask for that thing to come out, it's going to come out. I don't ask for them to come out. I don't want you to come out. I just want to see it go. That's it. I want to see that Victorian age dress lady just wandering around looking for her kid. Give me her sad story. That's all. I'm good. I mean,
yeah, when I was younger, I used to mess around with those Ouija boards, and some weird happened, and nope.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, people were like, "Well, it's just a cardboard thing with a thing," and I'm like, "Well, it's not just that it's a cardboard thing and you're moving a thing around. You are actually you are begging for something to happen."
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like juggling chainsaws and being upset when your arm gets cut off.
Shelly, you are not
invite
driving off. Shelly, you're far from driving anybody off. We got a strong audience going. We're good. People are just listening to us babble right now. Just don't feel that way. You're good.
Nope, never times
touched subject that I enjoy so much right now, and Tony seems to also, we're just so engaged in that. Like, that's one thing that I've always wanted to do, is actually find a ghost hunting group and do that. I was actually looking at a couple up in New York. There was a couple different ones that we were up into, and and do that. And we were doing it on our own too. We were just going out and finding apps on our phones that were free and having things talk to us and stuff. Would not do it at home just because I didn't want to know what was in my house. But I'll go out into the neighborhood and find things, and that's it. It's fun. It's a fun hobby. That's all it really is for me. It's a fun hobby, and it's enjoyable to find out what the history of it is. And I mean, I'm not that big of a history guy. I'll be the first to say that I hate history. But when it comes to history of what was here, this war and that war and this like I don't care about that. I want to know real history. I want to know who was in that house and things like that. Did some accident here, or was there a fire? That's the history I want. That's fun history for me.
Yep.
So
and that's what we base our stream off of. We've said it a couple of times in here. We have no game plan when we come in.
Not at all.
We want people to come in. We want people to throw things at us too, because we want to talk about a little bit of everything. So if you've got something, we want to talk about it. If you're into it and we're into it.
Yeah.
What is the Crystal Pistol,
Yes.
Danny?
So the Crystal Pistol is one of the original buildings for Georgia.
Okay.
It's you watched our media coverage from that it had the Christmas show in it. The
Okay. I thought it sounded familiar. I just couldn't place the name.
yeah. So they it's thing from the park. So I should try that. I should try to see one of those apps to the park and see what happens. Because it is the second Six Flags park in the country. So there has to be some pretty weird things there.
Yeah, I just sent you something too, Danny.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right, Shelley. School history really is different than reality. And me and my wife talk about it with our kids. And unlike Danny, I'm a pretty big history buff, and I love history. And what you learn in school and what you really learn as you get out of school, when you really look into history, is two completely different things. So it's really something else.
Where'd you send it to me?
Private.
I don't have anything there.
Oh, okay. Oh. So, yeah, wars are one of the things I really love to study, and I love to learn about, especially things like the Revolutionary War, World War II, the Civil War is something I really love, especially because as a kid, I got to go experience Gettysburg. You talk about ghosts and hunting ghosts and stuff like that. And when you walk on, there's the battlefield. I remember as a kid and walking onto the battlefield, you feel something when you walk out there. You feel something real. So
Yeah. Exactly. Gettysburg is definitely interesting. And the buildings there, like the old and all that.
But yeah, and that's been going on. See, I was 10, I believe, when I went, and I'm 45 now, and I can still tell you what it felt like to actually walk onto that field and the feeling you get when you walk on. And some of that could just be perceived because I was old enough to have learned a little bit about the Civil War at that age, and especially getting to hear presentations at a young age and then getting to walk out and just experience it. And when you step on that field, there's just something you feel when you step out there.
Patrick, my man, we're going to have a sit-down conversation one day about everything you know about that, because Danny is very, very intrigued right now.
Yeah. Well,
very
that and the fact
intrigued.
that it has Tim Curry Pennywise as his picture.
Yeah.
I got some respect for him.
Yeah. That man right there, Patrick, is an awesome scare actor too. I give him so much credit for what he does at he does Fright Fest. So
Oh, does he?
yeah. He found us through us being in the park and everything, and through our videos from Six Flags, and he's an awesome dude right there from scare actor and in person and everything. He's very knowledgeable about Six Flags Over Georgia too. And Patrick, seriously would love to get with you one day, knowledge about Six Flags, because I have a couple things that I'm trying to work on, and I think you might be able to help me out a lot. So Patrick, do you have a Twitter or someplace I can message you at some point? Because yeah, I'm working. I think it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, and I haven't followed along with chat as much as I should have tonight, but
It's okay.
just reading what Shelly said. Shelly, thank you for the compliment that you're enjoying the stream, and that's all we want. People to interact and just enjoy what we're doing. I mean, we're not, and she just said here she got a GoPro Hero 7 for her birthday. You know what? Anytime someone gifts you a GoPro, those things are nice.
That's a great person. Yeah. 7 is a good camera too. And especially a GoPro Hero 7. Got an awesome camera.
Yep. Did you get the silver or the black? I actually looked at both of them. I was just kind of peeking through some cameras the other day. With June coming up, if I'd like to find something besides my phone, something affordable. And I walked over and just peeking at those GoPros, and they're not as expensive as I thought they were. Now they're
really not. Yeah. I really like the new one. I really do. But I also really like the 7. And realistically, you put them side by side, there's no difference.
They had those, and they had the DJIs, that are like the GoPros right there side by side. The DJIs are twice as much. And the quality cannot possibly be that much better. And DJI makes
Shelly,
some
we're gonna reach out to you, Shelly, because we like what you said earlier, and definitely. I think you'll be a perfect fit with the
100%.
Yeah. But yeah, no, the GoPros, they're not.
What's going on?
What's up, Jonathan?
Here's the big question, Jonathan.
Are you?
Did you win your board game night?
Oh yeah, that's right.
He said he wasn't going to be able to be in because he had to move his game board night. Or
Right.
board game night. Game board, board game. Two different things. Same thing.
His game night.
Danny, did you get Cards Against Humanity yet?
No. I I think this week might be SNL thing because we haven't had a chance to get out to get anything in paydays this week. So,
What? Here's the question: is SNL Game Night going to run until 1 a.m? I mean, Monopoly.
no.
Monopoly was supposed to be the long one, and Villainous almost took as long.
Well, I was gonna say Villainous took half the time as Monopoly did. That was like a 2-hour stream.
It was still good, though.
So, yeah.
The
Jonathan, what
question
game
is,
are you playing? But it don't matter what time we end. We had fun doing it. That's all. That's all that matters. And we get a good crowd that shows up to watch us two fools play a board game. I mean, really, like.
Well, we got some people showing up to watch these two fools here talk about nothing. I mean,
we're just talking random. We're talking about ghosts.
We could name this show Seinfeld. It's a show about nothing, really.
I think this is better than Seinfeld, but okay.
Wow, I like Seinfeld, but different age brackets.
It was okay. It just got a little too, like, okay, you're dragging this out.
After about season 6, it was pretty much done.
Yeah.
But, when the network's going to pay at that time $1 million an episode per character, how do you say no?
Yeah. Exactly. Well, she said we can go live now, but I'm in my garage. That is funny.
See, Shelly, I truly enjoyed the live stream thing, and I get it. When you've got the opportunity, you're like, I'm ready to go now. You get to that point. It felt a little weird not going live this time. There was a part of me is like,
I know. I was saying, I'm like, wait, I'm supposed to do something?
Yeah, and because for one, you get used to it, and when you got the right makeup, you want to do it. That's the big thing.
Shelly knows what's my favorite game, Shelly? DJI for drone and Hero for action cam. That's that's
well,
Jonathan, are you making drone video? What's going on with that, man? I love a good drone video. There's this guy that I watch. Actually, does drone videos over New York City, like Brooklyn, Queens, and all that. And he actually, like, he's not supposed to do it, but really cool shots from the area.
Let's say, because there's a lot of places in New York City where it is strictly forbidden to even take a drone up, isn't it? Especially after 2000.
Oh, the whole city. The whole city.
That's all right, Shelly. I'm not wearing any makeup either.
I don't need makeup. I'm just naturally this.
Well, we're officially out of things to talk about.
Yeah, Jonathan, I forgot that. Thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
You know what, though? For gimbals and everything, you talk about DJI. I did a lot of research on gimbals and everything. I have the original Osmo gimbal, and I'll tell you what, that, and I bought it off of eBay used, and that thing. Now, I've never actually tried to run the battery down, but I know that my camera will drain almost 4 times as fast as that gimbal will, trying to stay balanced. And I've got a S10 Plus. I've got a large camera. Or I got a large phone.
Yeah.
I did my daughter's entire recital, and it was almost 4 hours that I was on and off a video, and I never once even had to think about recharging that gimbal.
See,
And
my
it's
problem is we cover Six Flags. That's my moneymaker for for videos. That's what my channel is on right now, and so we force. Well, I can't say that it's our main thing. It helps us. It gets people to come to us. But Six Flags gimbals. So for me to go out and spend money on a gimbal will be pointless. Second, my camcorder now has a built-in gyroscope in it. So realistically, I don't need a gimbal.
Mm-hmm. And see, I don't understand.
And I'm fine.
I can understand the whole thing, but the gimbals, well, it depends on the gimbal, because there are a lot of gimbals that are extendable. So I can understand why they don't want certain gimbals. But like my gimbal, literally, my phone is about half the size and length of my gimbal. I mean, once it's in my hand, really all there is the motorized part. So I mean, there's really not much to it.
The issue is they don't see it as you're using it as a tool to help you film something. They don't care about that. What they see it as a weapon. Even when I go in with a camera, they try to give me an issue at the gates and stuff like that. Even security walking around the parks. That it's not the fact that it can be used as a weapon. I'm not using it as a weapon. You see me, I'm in here wearing a Two Real Geeks shirt. You guys know I'm here every weekend. You know what I do. But you know what? I don't fight it. Look, it's your park. Whatever you want. My media. I don't like doing that. I don't like throwing it out there. I'm like, look, I am on the media access team. If you want me to take my camera off, I'll take the camera off. I'll put the tripod away, not the weapon. It's not a weapon. You see it's attached to a camera. I will put it away for you. No, just be okay. Thanks. Because you start pulling names and things like that, and they're like, "Oh, you know him? Oh, all right. Just be careful." Thank you.
Yeah, and you never want to start doing it, but if it's affecting your lifestyle and what you're doing, especially when you are out there trying to make things better for them in a way, because it's promoting the company they work for.
Yeah.
So
I'm not that vlogger where I'm going to go out and be like, we had a bad day in the park today. And, this happened. They didn't have the food I wanted. Not that person. If that happens, I'm going to be like, all right, well, whatever. I'm not filming food today, I guess, But,
yeah.
Hey, guys, what's going on? We did this. We were, look at this, like, I'm really not going to go and tell you I had a bad day at Six Flags over Georgia.
Yeah.
Patrick, not really. Not really, Patrick. It does and it doesn't. It depends on who you talk to and whose name you use them, whether it helps or not. But realistically, look, it's their park. Exactly. Patrick, that's the name I do throw out there too, because I do know him. So not really personally, but he knows the name. He knows what we do. So, but it's their park. Their job is to keep the park safe. Going to keep the park safe. Obviously, they're keeping the park safe for other people, and not only other people, but they're keeping it safe for me too. They're doing their job. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here. I don't like when people come into my job and say, you're doing this wrong when you have no idea what I was told to do. Okay. If I was made to put something away, I'm going to put it away. I may not like the idea that I have to put it away because I know what I am to the park, and sometimes who I am because of what you know what I mean. It kind of goes. It gets to everybody. Let's be honest. Like sometimes you're like, well, I'm YouTube. Or to put but realistically, it comes down to it is their park, their rules. I do what they want. I do what they don't want me to. Guess what? I'm not going to film on rides. I could film off a ride. I could still do other things in the park. I ain't going to give what's going to be coming up this year because that's people are watching probably. But there are things that I can do without a gimbal or without being on a ride. And that's what it comes down to. So, again, would I pay for a gimbal for that reason? No, I'm good. Wait, Patrick is in full support of us? Really? I never even heard any of this. You got to tell me more about this one. Wait.
Hey, I'm going to step away from
wow.
that.
Yeah. Patrick, what was it? The head of sales that wanted us totally, or what? Because I'm really enjoying this park even more now. Like, this is great. I love it because we walk and people know who we are just because of our positive attitude and our fun going videos and this, and said thank you for what you guys done and how you portrayed this park. So thank you, Jonathan. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you gave me the wrong sippy cup. That's what I would be mad at. You gave me the wrong sippy cup. Shelly, I don't have super chat yet because we don't have monetization yet. We're working on that. We need more view hours to get that, and like in progress, we're getting there. Believe it or not, our channel with the Two Real Geeks only started about a year ago, last March 10th anniversary, our 1 year anniversary on being on YouTube. So if you want it though, we do have PayPal. The link for PayPal is in the description. Like I said, anything that comes to us would go into our go right back into the channel. So the PayPal, we don't have a PO box though. Shelly, message me on Twitter, and I'll get you some. I'll get you if you want. Yeah, but yeah, like right there, Jonathan did put it up. Thank you there, Jonathan. We do have PayPal. We TeeSpring shop also where you can get the Two Real Geeks merch. Awesome merch. I don't know if you've seen it in our videos. Remember when I introduced? Yes. Patrick, that is right. 100%. And honestly, Patrick, from that, you're the freaking man for that, man, because that definitely got things rolling in that aspect. You and your family definitely rock, Patrick. I appreciate what you guys have done for us, and I can't wait to actually meet up with you again. Are you on opening weekend, Patrick? Because I'd love to meet up with you again, man, because we got to hook up again, brother. We got to get on some rides. got to get on some rides. I appreciate everything you've done. I got to show you some kind of gratitude, man. We gotta hang out or something. Awesome man right there. Shelly said March 9th is when I was. Shelly, Instagram is fine. Instagram is fine, Shelly. Awesome.
What did I miss? Anything good?
Oh, Shelly was asking if how she can send a super chat, but I don't have monetization yet. So I was telling her that we do have PayPal that we can send. You can send that to, and the link to that is in the description. And Patrick was saying, that he was introduced as president. If it wasn't for Patrick introducing me to Dale that day, I mean, he really got things that day, and I definitely am grateful for that one day. It was awesome, like that.
Check that out down there. Some ride passes.
I definitely appreciate that. I appreciate that. But yeah, there's, like I said, there's things in the park that we want to cover. Just play by their rules. I don't mind it. I really don't, because I mean, realistically, Tony, like I told you, it comes down to it. You're a YouTuber. Sit here, and I could still say, "Hey, we're gonna get on this ride, right?" And then I can take Six Flags. I can take Six Flags footage. It has their trademark on it, their watermarks and everything, their logo on the video. It's there for me to use, and I can put it into my own video. Normally would. So there's nothing stopping me, really. There's ways to accomplish the way I do my video. Even with you, Tony, going to Cedar Point, it's the same thing. Take advantage of it. You don't need to be on their media team to use their video, their website. Find where they're buried in the website and just take them. So that's all you got to do.
That's my goal, is to just kind of keep growing. And then when we hit springtime, May 9th, which I don't know for sure if I'm going to go for opening day. Opening day is going to be an absolute zoo. I mean, it'd be nice to be there because it's 150th grand opening. But yeah, it's just, I don't know.
Did you see their new merch that they have for the park this year?
For Cedar Point? Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're going to be doing
Snoopy
and yeah,
the golden Snoopy. That looked pretty cool. I didn't see the golden Snoopy. Yeah, there's supposedly a golden Snoopy that they have, like a little plush golden Snoopy for the 100th anniversary.
Yeah, now I'll probably have that one.
One thing I can tell you, Tony, is any merch that you see that says 100th anniversary on it, probably grab that up. It's going to probably cost you, a little bit during this year, but it's going to definitely pay off for you later on, because that's definitely going to be collectors' shirts and things like that are big park collectors' items for that. So even if they had something like the original coasters on it or something, like, the original whatever, grab it.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure I touched on a lot of stuff in one of our previous streams. Like this year alone, Cedar Point is also adding it's only going to be like a 2-month run from, I think, mid-June to mid-August, but it's going to be an afternoon parade. But it's supposed to be a throwback and a montage of the history of Cedar Point. The only thing that scares me about it is there's a lot of defunct rides that are part of this parade, and a current coaster is also going to be in this parade. And there's been talks the last couple of years that this roller coaster could either A, be completely brought down, or B, completely remodeled, something like RMC did with. But it's a twin racing coaster. It's called the Gemini. I mean, name says itself, and it's an icon at the park. It was originally the only coaster for the longest time you could see over the tree line. Like when you're back in the campgrounds, which is on the back side of the park, you could see this coaster run practice.
Right?
No. That's the Magnum. And that was the first one that reached 200 foot. But this one here, it's an iconic Woody. It's only I think 148 foot. But I mean, it's a great roller coaster. It's the Gemini, Shelley. And there's been talks. I've been reading articles the last couple of years that it's possible it could come down. And all the coasters that are wood up there are cedar coasters. And it literally, and I've said it before. When you go there, that's all you smell is cedar. You can smell it everywhere.
Well, of course they're going to use cedar.
Yeah. Yep. So every coaster they built up there was built out of cedar, so to demolish a coaster like that would be just horrible. There's some parts where it's like, okay.
That old, does it have landmark status?
Trying to think when that coaster opened. I think that coaster opened in 78. So that would make it.
Does it have east recognition?
I don't know. That I don't know. I'd have to look into that because I don't know. I'm pretty sure that coaster opened before 80. So that, it's up there. But yeah, because I consider it a landmark coaster. It was a record breaker.
If it has landmark status or if it has I don't think they can touch it. Because
I have to look into that.
With us, our Scream Machine here, the Great American Scream Machine coaster that I was telling you that's getting the refurb this year, has a landmark status, and it's recognized by the by ACE as a landmark coaster also. And so,
it's very possible it does, just because of the fact that it is. I mean, I think it broke 3 world records when it opened, and because at the time it was the world's tallest coaster, it was the world's tallest racing coaster. And there was something else that I think it broke a record when it opened. I mean, it's not surprising that Cedar Point has a coaster that broke a record, but,
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'll look into it. But, I mean, there are people that know a lot more than I do about Cedar Point that I don't hear them saying anything about landmark status. Oh, yeah?
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not even a little, huh?
No.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What?
I feel like we've completely went off the rails. Can't imagine that.
Yeah. 2 minutes, 2 hours and 20 minutes in. Yeah, we went off the rails.
Yeah.
What a shock. I think we went in at 20 seconds in.
Yeah. And Shelley said this here. You literally, and they always say, keep your arms, legs, and body in the coaster at all times. As you are riding around this thing, when you're coming around
the car at all times, it's fast and enjoy your ride.
Yeah. You can reach out and touch the other people in it. Yeah, people high five and everything as cars pass each other. No one's ever.
That's great.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. that is like, and that is like a rite of passage when you ride that ride. You know, I remember the first time I rode it. We're coming around, and I remember the first time I rode that was with my mom, and she purposely put me on the side where the others are, and she's like, "You're supposed to reach out and high five people." You know, it's like something that you were told to do by your, you know, everybody's just like,
I have an issue with things like that. Number one, there's rides I'm on, and I'm like, oh God, no. Yeah, it's bad enough. When I was living in New York, it was bad enough I had to duck from pigeons. You know.
well, see, or the Gemini would scare the shit out of you because it's got at least 3 head chopper moments to it. And I mean,
probably would chop my head then.
Even when I was a kid, I was scared to put my hand, knowing that they make this ride perfectly safe for anyone to ride. But when you're going, it's just like you literally, first time you ride it, you will pull your hands down on it because it just, where the beams come across and you're coming down one of the hills, it's a shorter hill. And I mean, just the way it comes out and down, you get a little bit of air time and there's those beams.
Yep.
I guarantee you, when I go up and ride this thing again, I'm going to want to bring my hands down, even though I know that I'm going to be just fine. But yet,
well, here's the thing. You ever think of this? You ever think of what is the height that they actually say a person is that are with those head choppers? You know what I mean? Like, there's dudes out there that are a lot taller than me. And there's times that I look at these things, geez, and I'm just pulling myself down into the seat. I knew a dude that was probably a good foot taller than me in grade school. I mean, granted, he's a Harlem Globetrotter and all that now, but, you know, what is the max height that they're like, okay, we can get away with you being 6'10", you know?
Yeah. I'm sure there's a point where, you know, but then again, no one's ever died on it. And this ride's been around forever. And you know, it's right there where the Cleveland Cavaliers play. There's some tall dudes that play for that team. You know, they've been there. And Shelly, Maverick is an amazing roller coaster. Maverick is literally a double launch coaster. It brings you out, comes around, and shoots you up the hill. And you shoot up and you take off, and then you come through. It's supposed to be like a hangar, and all of a sudden it's a takeoff again. And it is the smoothest roller coaster you will probably ever ride in your life.
Yeah.
And it's set up to be like you're riding in a like you're riding in a
comments. Jonathan, your comments are the best. Like, Shelly, your comments are, you guys are the best that come into this stream. Like, you're just as random as we are, and thank you.
Yeah, and you know, I'd rather look down and see there's 5 people, and they're in the chat, and they're doing exactly what you two are doing.
Yeah.
Then have, and don't get me wrong, I'd love to come in here one night and there's 100 people chatting in the stream, but I want them to be exactly like you guys are. That is exactly the point of what we're doing. You know, there are people out there that want to do something like this, but just don't. You know, they want to find a niche, they want to sit in it, and they want to do what they do, but there's no niche here. I mean, we'll talk about theme parks. We talked about ghost hunting. I talked about the deacon of a church with his pants around his ankles and a cow. What stream? What stream is going
by an Amish man's horse?
Yep.
And a headboard falling on me.
Yep. And he thought his story was the greatest bad story of all, and then I came in with mine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, if you can't just have fun with the people that are in here then it's just not worth doing. And that's what
Exactly.
is
And realistically,
this
we're here, we're 5 hours, and we just don't care right now because you guys are what make this going. Like your comments are what are feeding us, and we're like, no, we're all hanging out, we're good, you know.
Danny, have you watched much POV of Cedar Point?
I've been just because I want to see more of what you're getting into for that. This way, you know, because I know you're going to come to, you know, you know, if I know the rides, I can actually, you know, give you, you know, what to, you know, how to approach it, or, you know, like, and how I would approach, do it as you want, but, you know, just trying to help you out. But I also want to, you know, try to hype myself up more to actually get there. I want to get there. So best way to do that would be to watch what I'm not experiencing. So, but yeah, I've been watching more and more. Yeah, I, like, obviously seeing what the merch is for the, you know, this year and all that. So I'm like, oh, okay, like, yeah, you got some good things coming up. Okay. Yeah. So kind of like I saw that the merch coming up. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, all Patrick said, and I talked about my Amish dwarf story.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
Where else can you go and hear such great, enlightening stories?
Here.
Yeah, outside of here, you're not going to find it anywhere else unless you walk around Holmes County, where I used to work.
Shelly, do you have Twitter? I'm about to send. This works here again. It's so weird. I can't see what you're doing.
I love StreamYards. I love the way it's laid out, and I love how user friendly it is. But I really hate the chat delay. And I've tried the pop out chat, and sometimes I've had the pop out chat will actually just drop off, and I'll have to go find it again, resize it, and you have to resize it to make it work.
Shelly, where can I send something to you at? Link or something, or just send a link to you. Patrick, right? This really does beat the news. This is a lot more entertaining than the news, and a lot less BS. Well, I can't say a lot less BS. There's a lot more BS.
Let's say there's a lot of BS.
Makes the news good. Yeah. But yes, I'm really that they actually released the merch though for you already. You know that, right?
What's that?
Cedar Fair released the merch for you already.
Well, they're trying to make sure people understand that there's going to be more, because there's a lot of people, and I've read a lot of reports that they have gotten a lot of email about not adding a coaster this year, which there's part of me that understands, but just a couple of years ago,
it's an anniversary year though.
Well, at the same time,
100th year,
150th,
100th year, huh?
150th.
What was that?
Yeah,
Still,
150
that's a
years.
year.
Yeah,
that you want to dedicate yourself to past things. You know.
That's true. You know, my thing is I think that what they did and what they're rolling out this year is awesome. They are going retro with a few things. They are introducing a lot more family-friendly things like the button trading, which I know a lot of people are like, oh, they're trying to be like Disney. Okay, everybody wants to be like Disney. Who wouldn't, as a theme park, want to be like Disney? But they're doing it in their own way.
You want to be like
buttons.
Disney? How about this? How about this? Legoland doing the minifig trade. It's the same thing.
Exactly. Yep.
But let me tell you something. When I worked for up in New York, I worked at the Legoland Discovery Center. I got more excited about minifigure trading than I probably for Disney doing pins. Minifigure trading was so much, it's so cool, okay? Because they're so unique that you will come across. Like not every minifigure is going to be the same, honestly.
No, it's not. And that's
from
like
like a Harry Potter set or something like that. And I wouldn't even go after those. And the kids would come in to me like, oh yeah, I got a Star Wars one. I would look at it like, okay, it's a stormtrooper. I think you want to put this back to your Lego set. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless it was with Darth Vader's helmet on, holding Obi-Wan's lightsaber with a cloak. That was cool. This kid went out of his to make a stormtrooper, to make a Star Wars minifig his own,
Yeah.
And I had a whole bunch of my own like little minifigures like that too. And granted, they would give us the character minifigs too, just to trade with kids, because kids love the character ones. Like they know Harry Potter, they know the Lego chicken guy, things like that. So I had a whole bunch of those too on me at any time. But they never really wanted those. They wanted the ones that I made because, the one tags were Lego name tags. Okay. Our name tags can be so the cool thing was, like, I'm a huge, like with the move and everything, I had to get rid of all my Lego. But the name tag, I made scenes on my chest with my name tag. As long as my name was showing, they didn't care what we did. So I had like this whole on my chest, like it could be a knight fighting a dragon or something like that, And kids were like, "Wow, that's all," Yeah. So there was a lot of creativity. I mean, you're working with Lego. I mean, come on, really? Why wouldn't they let you be creative? But like things like that caught kids' attentions, and they saw that they're like, oh, that's cool. Can I trade, this for that night that like, oh yeah. By the way, like I would make up a story for each of the minifigs as I gave it to the kid, and they're like, oh, well, that's cool, And then all of a sudden you hear them running, Mom, has a story to him, So yeah, you got to be creative,
Well, and I mean, not in a bad way, but you're a big kid yourself, so it's always good. It's always good. And it's always good to have someone like you working there as opposed to, and I hate to say it, better to have you working in a place like that than me. I mean, now I have my own kids and I love my own kids. I'll do anything for my own kids.
Mm-hmm.
I won't necessarily do anything for other people's kids. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I'm not the greatest at it. I'm good at interacting with like the friends of my kids, but just some kid out there to have that interaction, I wouldn't be able to do that the way you do.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that it's right or wrong, but I probably wouldn't go out and make my badge all up all nice and cool and be like, check this out, dude. And be like, you know what I mean? So it sounds like that.
That's the thing too, is I don't have kids. And honestly, for me to have a kid would probably take away from honestly, like I wouldn't be, the same. Like, yeah, all right, cool. I would probably, I would be the cool dad. Like Jess would be the cool mom. The kid comes to us like, oh, I want blue hair. There's some blue hair. We wouldn't care. But realistically, is what we do. And realistically, I'll hang out with kids in the park. The kids come. There was a kid that saw us in the Six Flags park. Made his parents stop his car and jumped out. It's like, oh my God, it's the Two Real Geeks. And we sat there for like about a half an hour just with the kid, and the parents were like, they're like, thank you, like that, it meant a lot to him, like we do. So
yeah.
Patrick, it is okay to be the cool dad, but honestly, a kid would tie me down. I'm 36. Jess is, 42. We're good.
Well, and it's your age.
Like, yes,
it's a little late.
Look, this is a prime example, Tony. Patrick's kids loved me. They were all about us. They were all about what we did. They were all about our personality. But at the end of the day, Patrick's kids went home with Patrick. With that.
And Jess's kid went home with her.
I got Leia. I'm good. Like, yeah, my kid has to go outside to do her rebel duties and everything, but I'm good with that. Jonathan, there's nothing wrong with that, though. It's just a number.
But yeah, you're at an age now where it's hard to look back and say, I wish I had made a different decision. I'm not saying you guys are too old to have kids. I mean, come on, I'm 45 and my youngest is 8. Yeah. I mean, you're not, but you're also at a place where you're not where you want to be yet, and you're still working at that.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
And as long as the two of you are okay with where you're at with it, it doesn't hurt anybody. Because there are people out there that will tell you guys, it's just wrong that you guys don't have kids. Kids just aren't for everybody.
Well, it's not like we didn't try. There's things that pop up in life, and then you know what? You come to peace with it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you look and you say, well, we live a fun lifestyle. Do we really want to? If we wanted to, we can go ahead and adopt a kid. But realistically, I can really do that at any time I really feel like I'm settled down. I'm done running around having fun.
Yeah.
And also, do I really want to sit here and worry about, is the kid going to grow up okay? Is he going to be a bully? Is he going to be bullied? Is he going to have issues with health? Is he going to have issues with anything? Is he going to get arrested when he's older? Worry free. I'm good.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll be.
People in life these days barely make it by and do, scrape by paycheck to paycheck these days. Well, guess what? I wouldn't know what to do then at that point. I'm like, sorry, kid, you ain't eating? You want some ramen? I don't know. We eat ramen around here. So I don't know what to tell you. Hey, Barefoot, what's going on,
Here's
buddy?
a piece of bread. Put some butter on it. Barefoot, how you doing? And Shelly, happy belated birthday. I forgot it was your birthday yesterday.
Oh my gosh, yes, happy birthday, Shelly. Wow, that's right. Happy birthday. Butter was a bit more of, you got mayo. You got a mayo sandwich, kid. There you go.
Oh, that just brings back so many memories. My dad,
if you're lucky, you're lucky,
My dad growing
we
up
got
loved
tomato.
mayonnaise sandwiches.
Yeah, you understand what I'm saying, you know?
Yeah.
Because we's above that poverty line where we're not going to get the handout free cheese. So sorry, kid, you ain't getting your grilled cheese sandwich. You get mayo.
You know, though, when you did get that government cheese, that was the greatest cheese ever.
Yeah.
You know, when I was in high school, I used to volunteer for
I can't say that I've ever had government cheese, but my parents would to make sure we didn't have government cheese. And same as me right now, I bust butt to make sure we don't get government cheese. But yeah, I definitely hear you.
Yeah, when I was in high school, I volunteered for a senior center, and when that truck rolled in with the government cheese and the raisins and everything, boy, if there was anything left over, I wasn't too ashamed to walk up and take a couple of loaves of that cheese. There you go.
That's all. That's fine. Actually, I might do that, Patrick, because I want to get into Legoland, Discovery Center here in Atlanta, and I can't do that without a kid. This not having a kid is I can't get into Legoland Discovery Centers unless it's on adult Lego night.
Oh, you can't just go into LDC?
Unless it's on an adult Lego night, I cannot just walk into an LDC. I can't go in
Shelly,
there.
I don't know if you've seen the post, but Danny did send you an Instagram. You need to check it real quick.
She got it.
Okay.
Got it. That's squared away. 7 to choose me what a girl or a boy. Yeah, that's right. You do have
7.
Yeah.
I mean,
but all his
I've got
kids,
7, but
listen,
2 of them are adults.
But Tony, his kids are great kids. They're a great fun family. And Patrick, his wife, and they're all great.
You know the
hook
now
up
I'm
with
going to
them
tell
in the
you
park
something.
again.
You know what a lot of people say about my kids? They're great kids. You know what I tell them? Live with them.
Exactly.
Because they are all my 4 school age children are all very respectful to everybody else. They're pretty respectful to me and my wife. But when they're not, they feel they can get away with it because with their parents.
Oh man, that was funny. Oh, Tony, you should have seen it. His son started out he did the whole Fortnite dance in the middle of Six Flags for us. It was hilarious.
Yeah, you should have gotten some video of that. You know what's funny is,
he's on video. You gotta.
You want to know something funny is I showed my kids Carlton Banks from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air doing his dance, the famous dance, Tom Jones dance. You know what my kids looked and told me? He says, he's copying the Fortnite dance. I said, guys, this dance is about 20 years old. And they're like, what?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, he's copying the Fresh dance. I go, that's because he played on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I said, and no Fortnite dance will ever be as good as what Carlton Banks did it. Because there's nothing funnier than when he broke out the Carlton. I sat down one day and it was on like Nick at Night or something. I was flipping through the channels and I come across that. And there was a lot of that show that wasn't that great, but there was a lot of really good episodes of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah.
And I look back and I remember I never, as when I was younger, would miss that show. That show was just great all the way around. Yep.
You know, you should show them. You should show them the Elaine.
Oh, me and my wife joke about that all the time. I tell my wife that she does the Elaine when she's sleeping because she kicks around. I'm like, it's like sleeping with Elaine when she's dancing.
See, that's me. I'm the one that's all over the bed when I'm sleeping.
Well, no, she kicks
Like,
and jerks.
I don't know, like a hotel or something like that. I'm just like all over the place. I'm like the hand on her face and everything. Yeah, that's me.
My wife hates, especially if she doesn't. If I go to bed before her, she'll come to bed because she works nights. So I'm used to most of the time having to bed myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm the one that kicks my leg all the way over off of her side while still on my side, on my stomach, arms stretched out. And she'll come in the morning. Like if it's a weekend and the kids don't have school, she'll come in the morning. And all I'll hear is, really? I'll be like sideways on the bed. And she'll be like, really?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what? I'm going to have to show the kids the Elaine.
Yeah, you need to show them the Elaine. You need to show them the Elaine. That's so funny.
It's funny because my music is very, very random. Kind of like our show. I mean, literally. Like one day, like I got a Google Home Mini up in the kitchen. So if I'm out in the kitchen cooking, I just go out and I just tell it whatever I want. A lot of days, like if I'm cooking, it's usually a Johnny Cash station. It'll play all the old Johnny Cash and all the really old country stuff, which I love that stuff. And then if we get in the car, and then I'll get in the car and then the kids will expect me to put that on. And then I'll be like, play 80s pop radio. And I'm playing 80s music, and it's funny because my daughter is 8 and we'll be sitting around and I'll just pop on a random station on Pandora. She knows every Johnny Cash song. She knows just about every 80s pop song. And, she's 8 years old.
Jonathan, sometimes I end up on the floor, not because of Jess, but because of the dog.
Oh, when Max comes to bed with us, it's all over.
Daughter knows all that, though. That's great. You see, that's music history done right. Not this new stuff. Like I'm all into my 90s alternative and punk and it's music is not the same from like the 80s and 90s. It's not the same.
No, because we're not writing our own music anymore. I read an article one time that there are 3 people in Nashville that write almost 90% of the music that's out there for country music, which don't get me wrong. There are some of this stuff, like there are certain artists I like to listen to because they have a great voice and you can tell they're not, they're not mixed that heavily. Yeah. So I enjoy and I love music for the music and the ability to perform. Like one of my favorite artists, and I know there's going to be someone's going to see this stream and they're going to be like, I can't believe he said this. I love Lady Gaga. Why? Because she is a true brilliant talent. She is the greatest halftime show at the Super Bowl since Prince. And Prince to me is just
Prince's
barely
show. Epic. Number one, Prince performed that live. Okay. He didn't do no pretend that he was playing. So keep in mind too, his performance was in pouring rain. Okay. So some poor dude had to run around in the pouring rain, plugging things, passing him guitars and all everything. Okay. And what made it even more epic was it just started pouring when he started playing Purple Rain. Yeah. The lights just purple. Come on.
And that album, Prince and the Revolution, the Purple Rain album, from front to back, is maybe one of the greatest albums ever made. He wrote every single song. He wrote every piece of music for that. He wrote everything for that.
Yes. Barefoot, yes. And I know
Eddie
exactly
Murphy.
what song I'm thinking of.
Oh, it's got to be SNL. The whole Buckwheat sings the
Party
hits.
All the Time.
Oh no, not
No.
Party All the Time. That song is horrible.
In the Butt.
But MJ at the Super Bowl, I put him just like a millimeter underneath the Princess concert. I just recently actually went back going through some old Super Bowl halftime shows.
MJ, like I don't really think he was that talented. He was a good performer.
I got to stop you there. He was naturally
he put on a good show.
Talented.
He put on a good show. But if he didn't come from the background he came from, he wouldn't have gone as far, I think. Like,
no.
Yeah, we got all that. I mean, this is just my opinion.
Whole Bad album. That whole Bad album. I mean, Bad was the worst song on that entire album. I mean, we got songs like Smooth Criminal out of that album. We got Dirty Diana out of that album. I mean, those songs have been covered how many times? I mean, a metal band covered Dirty Diana. Shaman's Harvest. And if you've never heard that version, you ever heard of Shaman's Harvest?
If I heard one of their songs, I'd probably be like, oh, okay.
YouTube that before you go to bed tonight. Shaman's Harvest, Dirty Diana. It's one of the greatest covers I've ever heard in my life. It was a huge hit. I mean, it was played all over Liquid Metal on Sirius for forever. And, and Smooth Criminal is, I mean, Alien Ant Farm made the cover famous, but I mean, it was covered by a country music artist. I can't remember the name of the artist. I can't remember who did it now. Alien Ant Farm. Yeah. There's very few artists that I like when they cover songs. Alien Ant Farm comes to mind. Marilyn Manson is one of the greatest cover artists of all time. And I'm a huge fan of Marilyn Manson to begin with. But the Marilyn Manson covers that he did, and a very underknown, or what's the word for that, but a very unknown cover that he did was Lunchbox.
Yes. And the fact that Manson can take the whole boat scene and put it into a song is just genius. Genius.
Yep. That, and I grew up in the 80s, and so 80s music's very near and dear to me, and I was a huge Eurythmics fan. Sweet Dreams is one of the best songs that ever came out of the 80s. He took that song and made me forget the Eurythmics did it. He just has that way about him. He's another one that, I mean, he writes his own stuff. I mean, the covers he does are great, but he writes everything they do, and he writes a lot of the music that gets played. He also allows his band to write their stuff too. So it's not just it's like, Patrick, have a good night. I just seen you were heading out.
Have a good night, Patrick. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. We can definitely be in touch, Patrick. Like, how many times has Blue Monday been covered?
Oh, wow. It's been covered a lot.
Right?
Yeah.
So the best cover I've ever heard from them had to be from Prodigy.
Oh, yeah. Prodigy's another one of those bands.
The best cover ever.
Oh, yeah.
And Depeche Mode.
Oh, yeah. Depeche Mode did a good version.
Mm-hmm.
And, Depeche Mode is another one of those bands. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, here's one for you. You talk about cover artists. When Johnny Cash did the cover album, he did a lot of cover songs. The song "One" by U2. I mean, I was never a huge fan of U2, but I loved the song "One," and when Johnny Cash did it, it was great. And then when I watched a sit down with Trent Reznor when he talked about how Johnny Cash came to him and wanted to cover "Hurt," and he explained to him how he wanted to do it. Trent Reznor actually talked about, he goes, it made me tear up. He goes, because this man's old and he's on his last leg, and the song kind of fits him, in the lifestyle that he lived. And then Johnny Cash made that video that went with it. It almost pulls tears from you watching that video, because he's there. And I mean, he's so frail and so old. And he's one of the greatest storytellers, songwriters of all time, that he can just pull a song that was made as a ballad by a steampunk type metal band and make it actually feel right. Because the song never felt right for Nine Inch Nails to do it. I thought it was a good song. But when you hear Johnny Cash do it, still to this day, as soon as I hear it start on my Pandora, my
I'm going to
skin
stop you there
crawls.
because to me, Nine Inch Nails can do no wrong.
Well, see, I like Nine Inch Nails. I like the song. I just don't think the song ever fit them.
Nine Inch Nails is my obsession. Okay.
But they kind of fit your age range more than they fit mine.
Yeah.
And they're one of those groups, they spoke to an era. I like their stuff. But I don't think that they can ever look at that song again and go, that's our song. I mean, can you see my point on that? When you got old man Johnny Cash singing that, it's no longer their song. He made that his song.
It's like, that compared to Head Like a Hole or, Star Inc.
Yeah.
I'm going to finish the rest of it. But you know what I mean? Like, just think about Star. I was going to call it Star Inc. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Just the words to that song. In the back of the limo. I mean, really, come on, really.
Now, see, the way you feel about Nine Inch Nails is the way I feel about a band like Tool.
Oh, heck yeah.
But then again, I mean, Tool was a backyard band for me. So is Marilyn Manson. Marilyn Manson is only a couple years older than me. He grew up in Canton. I actually worked with a guy that was best friends with him, and still talk to him on the regular.
Did you actually read his autobiography?
No, I have not.
I'm really crazy. Crazy.
You're talking about Maryland's?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he was just an absolute.
When he moved to Florida, like, forget it. It's just, whoa, dude. Really? Yeah.
I mean, I can imagine. I mean, you look at what he was. I mean, he was the kid that everybody looked past in high school. So he was an absolute dork and a geek. And I mean, not in the same way as you. I mean, he was a geek in the high school sense, He was the geeky kid,
right.
With the crappy haircut and the dorky glasses that no one paid attention to. I mean, so he built his brand out of not wanting to be that kid again. And Barefoot, I got to agree with you with Journey and Bob Seger. I love all their stuff, and I grew up in a time of their stuff. Now, for me, they're not my favorites of all time, but I'll tell you what, you cannot go wrong when Bob Seger gets out there and does what he does. Bob Seger, when he puts it out there, it absolutely just, he kills it. It doesn't matter what he's doing, what he's singing. He can go from that slow ballad to that old school rock and roll, and just he can go back and forth all night. And,
so it's funny we're actually
yes,
talking about music and stuff like this, because I actually won tickets to the Black Keys concert coming up here in Atlanta.
Black Keys, Akron, Ohio.
There
And
were
the Black
the Black
Keys are
Keys and I
good.
believe the Black Keys and the Black Rose and toured together.
Really, together. That would be a great show. Black,
Really,
I'll
really
tell you what.
excited about that.
But can Chris Robinson keep it together?
Let's find out.
Yeah,
We will find out.
because that's the reason why they split up. They are a definite throwback to what rock and roll was in its beginning.
Rivalry.
And Chris Robinson,
Yeah.
I have a lot of favorite vocals.
No, you don't need the party. Yeah. We need to get paid.
Yeah, I've got a lot of vocalists that are in my top 10, and he's definitely probably cresting up to the top 3. I mean, I put him up there. I mean, as true vocalists, I would put him in my top 3. I'd probably put Corey Taylor from Slipknot and Stone Sour. He's a great vocalist. And if I'm going to round out a top 3, I may even put Aaron Lewis in there. I mean, what Aaron Lewis can do, I mean, not too many guys can go.
No, I'm putting, what's his name? Dave in there from Disturbed.
Oh, David Draymond? Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I hate to say it because he comes from my generation of music, and I hate to drop him down because I don't think he deserves it, but Lane Staley, when he was alive, you can throw a lyric at him that he could not put out and sound tremendous.
See, I'm also, from my, probably more my era too, was oh God, what the heck? Jonathan Davis.
Oh, from Korn?
Yep.
I feel that he has a lot of mixing.
Speed, to put that speed and those sounds in there together and make music out of it that's rock and be that active. Yeah. Yeah. When I heard Korn the first time, I stopped and I was like, what? This is amazing. I've been to every time they came into New York when I was in high school. I went to every concert that they were at.
But he doesn't carry the same vocals when he goes out on stage that you hear when you buy the album. I think he's got a lot of mix in studio to get the sound that he wants. Because if you watch him live, he doesn't carry very well.
I don't know. When I saw him in the Garden, he sounded good.
Okay. And see, I've never watched him actually live. I've seen a lot of video of him live. And I could just be seeing clips of him at the end of a show. I mean, those guys like to party.
Ozfest, he was good at Ozfest in the pouring rain. When I saw him in the Garden a couple times, he was good. But again, you gotta remember, Madison Square Garden was built for concerts.
Yeah,
it was built for everything. So the acoustics in that place it's coming back at you. So it was, but
check out what Shelley said.
That is awesome. I love it. See, this is why Shelley rocks right now even more, because she's all into that stuff too. Yes.
See, Shelley fits into this right here.
Oh, Oh
The
my
Family Values
gosh,
tour.
Kelly's bringing it back to wow. What a
Family Values
crazy
tour.
con-
Family
wow.
Values tour is what made Stained a household name, and Aaron Lewis a household name.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Sure
Here's
did.
a little backstory on that song. He wrote that song backstage that night in the dressing room.
Oh, I believe. Well, you know, Travis from Blink-182, right? The drummer.
Mm-hmm.
You know how he came about with the band, right?
No, I don't. I don't know much about the band.
So,
I know their music, but I'm not a huge fan.
Blink-182, because I like Travis because I would play drums in high school and stuff, and I loved him as a drummer. He's a phenomenal drummer. Like he
Yeah,
teaches
my wife
classes
loves him
and
as a
stuff
drummer
like
too.
that. And you know where he started off his career was actually on Broadway. He was a drummer
Oh, really?
for a Broadway show. Yes. So that now it's amazing. So basically what happened was Blink-182, their drummer was from Australia or something like that. They had half an hour before a show or something like that. Dude's like, you know what? I'm getting the first plane out of here. Later. It's like, what do? We don't have. So they're like, all right, let's see what we can do. They said to people, if you know our songs, come on over here. Basically playing their songs and this and that. Okay, whatever. Next. And he comes up on stage. They look at him like, you know our stuff? Yeah. And just nailed it out. They're like, so here's a question. Do you want to be our permanent drummer? So from that moment, as their drummer.
Yeah,
So,
that's an interesting story right there.
yeah.
Yeah, I think back to
Aaron was singing Mud Shovel when they arrived.
and one of my favorite things to do with bands is to go back and look for anything that came out before they got signed.
Jonathan, what do you mean back in the day? Great of the day. So you want a fun story?
I'd like for you to be back, Danny. I guess he doesn't want to tell a story, guys.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
So
was that the
I don't
story?
know if I said this to you. Yeah, I was like, yeah, bye. No.
Is this the Hershey Park story?
Yeah. So I have.
Okay, everybody, buckle in. This is a great one. No, you told me this off the air.
Did I say it off the air? I didn't say it on there?
Yes. No. Okay. Shelly, you're going to love this story.
Yeah. So I'm at Hershey Park, talking music and theme parks all at once now here. This is going to be great. I'm at Hershey Park.
World of Randomness.
And the Vans Warped Tour was there. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, look, the Warped Tour is here. I'm like, tickets to that, cool, whatever. But all right, whatever. Go on rides. So we're there, and we happen to have 88 passes because my sister was with us. So we doubled up the pass. So if I took her or if my parents took her, so all right, cool. So we happened to be at the same ride at the same time as my father, and is because granted they're ADA, but you know what? We wanted to get back to them as quick as we could. So we're like, all right, we're going to cheat a little bit and it doesn't hurt sometimes using it in the right reason, but whatever. We use it, and then right before us, and there's coasters in the park that year too. I mean, brand new launch coaster, Storm Runner or whatever it was. I forget. But we're there, and right before there's people, they're like, well, what do you mean we can't get on? Do you know who we are? The guy was like, I don't care who you are. I'm doing my job. Unless you have, the pass, you this way. You got to get online like everybody else. They're like, well, we got to get to the concert. So like, well, you and everybody else going to the concert's got to get to the concert. So they turn around and go, can you help? I was like, yeah, you're the freaking Foo Fighters. So literally got the Foo Fighters onto a park and hanging out with them the rest of the day, getting them onto rides. Best afternoon ever right there.
Didn't end there though, did it?
Oh, they were like buying me things and everything. It was great. It was great. Absolutely great. Wait, what part are you?
Well, you went to the concert with them.
Oh yeah, backstage passes and everything. It was great. You couldn't ask for. They got me back to the hotel and everything. Like, yeah, you take them back. Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought, yeah. Just so you guys know, Danny did this to one up my story of sitting and drinking a beer with Bruce Springsteen, because he couldn't just let that be a cool story.
Like, I don't know how. I'm just in the right places at the right time. But drinking a beer with the boss it's amazing too, though, Tony. Like, I mean, really, like,
Well,
you can't get any better than, like, it's just a moment right there, and it's just like a very calming moment. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure
yeah.
if I asked you what was going on around you guys, you it was just all fuzzy around. Just me and Bruce. We just had this big ball of fuzz around us. All I could see is the bar in front of us and that big fuzz, and that's it.
Well, see, and the funny
You
part
know?
about that is, he owns the place. He comes in. He says, I come in for every show just for a minute to check out the crowd, see what's going on. And, I tried to buy the man a beer, and he's like, no, I'll buy your beer. He's, because I'm sure that he has problems with people like freaking out or trying to cause a scene because he walked in. You got a certain amount of people that come in and see a lot of shows that seem to come in and out. But for that to happen the way it did was just like, it was 2 minutes most. He took a couple drinks of his beer and he went on about his day,
Exactly.
And I'm like, that's
like, was that
pretty cool.
Like,
I turned around. I was like, you're Bruce Springsteen. And he goes, I know who I am. He goes, just it's no big deal. I was like, can I buy you a beer? And he's like, how about I buy you a beer? I was like, that works for me. I didn't say it out loud, but I'm like, that works for me. Save me $5.
You're like,
Yes, sir. And,
Exactly.
I'm not even that huge of a fan of Bruce Springsteen, but it's like, it's Bruce Springsteen, he's the boss.
Exactly.
He's got like three or four good songs.
Like, I normally don't like celebrities and stuff. I don't care. Like you can be in front of me. I'd rather have a good conversation with you than sit here and be like, oh, can I get your autograph? Like, to have that conversation with somebody like that means so much more and meaningful on both ends than to rush to autograph. To them, when you run into them and say, can I get your autograph? That's just saying that, you know what, I mean nothing to you except for my signature, so you can possibly sell this and get money now.
Yep.
I'd rather sit there and have a conversation with you. Like, I'll give you Jess. This happened to Jess, like, before I met. She's down in New York City, hanging out down there, and Christopher Lloyd is across the street, coming out of a restaurant, and her head and look, and he's like, and you can see on it, like she said, you can see on his face, like, oh, God, no, like, not now, from across the street does one of these, and he's like, and he's like, he shakes his head like, like that, thank you, and does it back and gets in the cab and goes away, like,
yeah.
And that's happened many times, that like with me in the city too. And it's like, you see somebody on the street, you're like, hey, what's up? You know,
Yeah.
like you could say, you know, if they're walking quick, or you know, like, oh shoot, I got to get to the studio or whatever. You know, I got to shoot or what. You know, just they got a job, man. That's all it is their job. You may know them because of their job, but just on work. Like people would wait outside of the Saturday Night Live studio at like weird hours in the morning on Saturday nights after they're done filming in New York, just to see these guys come out. Like just leave them alone, man. It's late. Number one, trying to get to their party. They don't want nothing to do with you in the street. They're trying to go get a beer because they're done. They're, you know, they're comedians. Let's be honest. They're going to the bar. You know, or you know, they're just trying to get home. You know, because they got a flight out to LA in the morning.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's like the Cleveland Indians have an affiliate team a couple hours north. It's a little closer to me than Cleveland is. And, you know, I like my autographs. Don't get me wrong. But it's a guy, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer when he retires. His name is Justin Verlander. He pitched for the Tigers for years. He's with Houston now. But he had got called up, and people who are true baseball fans knew who this guy was in the minors. They knew he was going to be a bona fide killer on the mound. And he got called up against the Indians in a doubleheader, and I mean, he just absolutely shut us down. And I had a chance to go up with a friend of mine. His double-A team was pitching against ours. So we went up so we could try to meet him, get an autograph. And I was off getting a beer when he was up, so I caught him walking down the right field line, and I walked on down, and I just walked. I had the ball in the pen, but I was just awestruck. I mean, because I watched this guy. I mean, he's larger than life. I mean, he's like 6'4". His hands just dwarf mine. I walked up, and he was talking to a man in a 3-piece suit, and I'm standing down the way, and I heard him say to the guy, "Hang on a minute." He walked down, and you know, and he reached out, and he immediately just reached out to shake my hand. And I said, "Mr. Verlander," I said, "It's so great to meet you." I said, "I am an Indians fan." I said, "But you're an amazing pitcher." I says, "I love to watch you pitch." And he goes, "I just wanted a chance to say hi to you." And he goes, "Did you want a ball signed or anything?" And he goes, "You got it?" I said, "Oh yeah, I completely forgot about it," because this guy cut his conversation off and come down and talk to me because I didn't walk up and bug him. I waited. I gave him space. Probably a good 5 or 6 seats. You know, I stood away and just waited. He sat on the railing. And he walked up and he talked to me for a couple minutes about what it felt like to pitch in his first Major League Baseball game and how his nerves were. And I'm like, that's more than I ever expected from him. You know, and all you got to do is just be human and treat them like humans.
Exactly.
They'll give you the shirt off their back.
Human.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think so.
I wouldn't have had to react if Jonathan had a avatar in his or a picture or anything. I'd be like, "Jonathan, what happened to you?" I think he really is purple.
That is funny. Oh man.
Sorry, Shelly. He's an Astro. He's even though they cheated, he's got his title there.
I mean, but yeah, you're right, man. Treat them like humans, man. Don't assume that you can go and do whatever. Oh, but wait.
Yeah.
But you know what though? Sometimes they're human.
No.
You know, if I'm saying something like this, there's something behind it, right?
Yeah, let's see where this goes.
This weekend at the HorrorCon, okay? Linda Blair was there.
Oh.
Okay. So was her agent. Going to be Sunday afternoon. And all of a sudden, her agent flips the hell out, dude. I mean, out on the whole room. If you were in that warpath, he was yelling at you, taking you up, pushing you to the side. She's not seeing nobody yet. You can see it in her face, like, these are my fans. I want to meet them, you know? And she does an animal rescue. And I really was going to go up and talk to her. I wasn't even going to say anything about, you know, The Exorcist or anything, but you know, I wanted to talk to her about her whole animal rescue. And the dude saw the camera in my hand. I mean, hand up to the camera, and I was like, touch my camera again, buddy. Touch it again. And there's going to be issues. Don't talk to me like that. You know, don't touch my shit. I'm sorry. Like, for me to say it that way on screen, don't touch it. Camera. I'm sorry. I just want to talk. She's got a flight to catch. You gonna drive her to the airport? I will. Let's let the airport. I don't care.
Yeah, I'll drive her to the airport. We'll talk about The Exorcist the whole way there. I mean, because really, what else has she really done?
She does other stuff, but like I said, I was really going to talk to her about the charity, you know, because she does like a whole rescue now, but she does like horses and, you know, everything else too. So, but yeah, so when I was like, all right, dude, what on an opportunity to, you know, try to raise money for her charity, but thanks, cool. She don't care about talking. Don't care about talking. She has a big poster about it up there. Like, she don't care about. Okay, cool. You mean nothing to her, baby. Then he's in the room. Like, we left the room, came back. He's slipping out on more people. Linda's never coming back to this event ever again. You all suck. Whoa,
are you
dude.
serious?
Calm down. Like, other celebrities are standing in the corner laughing. Like the dude that played the creature from the Black Lagoon, like the actual creature guy, like the guy in the suit, he was there, and he's in his wheelchair, and he's just there at this whole thing. He's like, this is ridiculous. He's like, this is why I don't bring my agent with me.
Yeah, if you're going to go do something like that, why would you do something like that? Even if the agent is going to sign you up for something like this, why would you refuse to do these things? I mean, do you know what you're getting into when you sign up for this? It's not like you signed up for this hoping to not be bothered. You know, if you don't want to be bothered, stay home.
Yeah.
That's simple. You played in one of the most iconic movies in American history.
But this all came about too, about talking to somebody else, I think, that worked there. And, you know, she signed something for her, and then she didn't charge her. And then he's having a fit because the lady got it for free, the signature for. You don't do that. You charge for your signature. Wow. Calm down, dude. Calm down.
Well, because this dude wants paid as well.
Yeah.
If she's not getting paid, he's not getting paid. It's that simple.
Exactly. But like, really, you're gonna do? I'm thinking. I'm like, yo, she got a flight to catch. She's going into the Atlanta airport. People are gonna recognize her. What is he gonna do?
Yep. I mean, it's in a controlled environment. It's not like she's in any kind of danger.
Exactly. And it was the end of the con too. It was the end of the con. Get over it, dude. Come on. But it was funny. Seeing the breakdown of this dude was funny as all heck.
So he was having a Michael Douglas moment and falling down.
Oh yeah. Big time. Big time.
Some people just aren't meant to handle the pressure of a con. I mean, like, really. I mean, like you said, yeah, you had your camera, but I mean, you weren't holding it up, were you?
No.
I mean, you weren't like standing there looking like you were filming. So
it was in my hand. The lens piece of it was closed, and the screen was closed. You know, like I know better than to walk up to a celebrity with a camera running. You know, like you just don't. You ask, is it okay if I record you for my YouTube channel? You know, to talk about your. I don't. That's it. It's not like when we met Felix. Like yeah, we have Felix on video. He's the only one we got on video. But is it okay if I get you? Let's do this. You know. So
Obviously, he didn't have an agent with him.
no. Well, he did. No, he did. He did.
Oh, okay.
But his agent was like, "You do what you got to do." You know. He's like, "You do what you got to do. Have fun." You know.
Well, that's good.
It's like he wouldn't even let anybody talk to her. It's like, really? Come on, dude. Like, it's just a conversation. That's it. But I don't know. Well, you've been at this 3.5 hours.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, I think we're at a good place. End of rant.
Yeah.
End of random.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we're good. What do you think?
I think I'm good.
I'm good.
Shelly, I will
too,
send you an instant message on Instagram after we get off the stream, and we'll discuss it with you.
Yeah.
That way you know how to follow the links and everything.
Yeah. Definitely. It's pretty fun. But what do you say? We're done here?
Yeah, I think we're good. 3.5 hours in.
All
I
right.
think we covered a couple topics tonight. Everything
covered
from
more
Linda
than a
Blair.
couple, but yeah.
Everything from Linda Blair to Amish midgets and Amish horses, and all the way back to theme parks a couple times.
Exactly. But all right, guys, we appreciate it. It is 1:00 in the morning.
And we appreciate the few of you who have stuck around with us all the way to the end. And
exactly
thanks for taking us where we need to go.
Yep. So, all right, guys.
And this is the night we're going to be on from now on. So,
exactly.
bookmark us for
Tuesdays work.
Tuesday nights at 9:30. Tuesdays work better for us.
Until probably about this time every week.
Yeah. I mean, why not? I mean, as long as we got something to talk about.
Oh, there was always something to talk about. It's fine. All right, guys.
Yeah.
Stick around for a second and have a good night.
Yep. Thank you, guys. Have a great night.
Roll it out.